avast, ahoy, and g'day once again to ye mateys! I be your generous and munificent DM, Josh the Pirate, and it brings me more satisfaction than was probably felt by Henry Morton Stanley on the 10th of November 1871 in UGG near Lake Tanganyika to welcome you back to Corsair's Cove for another episode in my Humblewood world for some more major magicka. With me, I have my hearty crew. A burst of prestidigitation, it's Ardanna! A frisson of druidcraft, it's Sir Terris! And a gentle touch of thaumaturgy, it's the Mother of Bunnies! So let's talk about these lovely folks, shall we? Ardanna, who the absolute heck are you?
Hello, I'm Ardanna, or Joe, or you there, if a majority of my players have been saying it, apparently. I am the GM and channel runner over at the Lorite. Do you want me to introduce who I'm playing as well? Or
Oh, yeah, you can if you like. Let's do that.
Today I will be portraying Nicodemus, the fast-talking, light and death sorcerer, wizard, whatever really you want to call it. He's an elephant shrew that kind of looks a little bit weird.
Even progressively more so with every episode that comes.
Yes. Big glasses, neon-colored fur.
Crispin says that was a bit of a laboured description of how pleased I am. Only slightly, and I was giving as much detail as I could because I like to give people a chance to guess the reference. And I was just like, look, I don't know if anyone will get it from just Henry Morton Stanley in November 1871, so I gave you the location as well, just to see if that would help. Terris, who the absolute heck are you?
Hello, I'm Sir Terris, your friendly neighborhood ferret. Today I am playing Rabbit, the Vulcan Chrono / Silicomancer.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
He's just a little dude.
Oh, these are all little guys.
Magic.
Elephant shrew.
That's smart. And Karen.
A lot of magic.
A lot of magic.
Hi, I'm Karen, sometimes known as the Mother of Bunnies. I'm a performer, a writer, an internet addict. And tonight I will be playing Eva. I did think about that so long, and it's literally on the screen in front of me. I'm playing Eva. Eva is a puffin, though based on a Luma build, but she is a puffin. She is a transmutation and enchantment wizard. And currently she has 3 levels of instability.
Good.
So she's hovering slightly, she's haunted by visions of a terrible future in which someone is dead, and she's a vessel for a troublesome entity, which means she has a psychic link with Weary the baby dragon. So occasionally her eyes go different colors.
That's right.
And a dragon in her head is just like, hey, Eva. What?
Hi.
And I'm Josh the Pirate. You can find me here on my channel, Corsair's Cove, where I run D&D and other RPG-related games with my lovely wife Karen, the Mother of Bunnies, and all my splendid friends, like what we're doing tonight. I haven't had Major Magicka for a little while. It's something I like to do in my world where it's kind of fun. You can just see how the events of the main campaign are affecting the rest of the world. And that there are other really cool and interesting people and other cool and interesting stories going on in it. And we get to do a little bit of a monster of the week every time we come over here, and sometimes these guys do stuff that influences the main story, and sometimes the main story influences them. It's kind of fun. So, this is Major Magicka by Devin something. Devin Nelson. That's the one, which is one of my favorite little rules light TTRPGs that we found kind of on accident, but we took it and run with it, and we hecking love it. So, for those who don't know, for those who are wanting to know, who are curious about what the reference was, Henry Morton Stanley, on the 10th of November 1871, in Ujiji near the Lake Tanganyika, Henry Morton Stanley, fascinating guy. Somewhat controversial guy as well, but did do some very interesting stuff. Did some quite rather questionable stuff as well, and Crispin has it in one. This is the gentleman who said Dr. Livingston, I presume. Henry Morton Stanley was born in Wales. Fascinating life story. Born in Wales, but abandoned by both parents, and after his grandfather's death when he was 5, he wound up in a workhouse. He was a fierce opponent of the slave trade, actually served on both sides of the American Civil War, though only the Union Army for about 3 weeks before he was discharged from illness. But he also was involved on the Union side as a he did logistics for them, but didn't actually serve at two naval battles. Then he explored a huge part of Central Africa, and on behalf of the New York Herald, located the missing Dr. Livingston. And he is purported to have said, "Dr. Livingston, I presume." However, that is massively disputed by historians, because his diary of the time has those 2 pages torn out. He claimed to have said it, but it is suspected because he was always really touchy about the ignominy of his birth. He was a bastard. His name actually wasn't Henry Morton Stanley. That was the adopted name he took on when he got to New York, when he was sort of adopted when he was 18 by a gentleman over there who wanted a son and didn't have one. And so yeah, he was a bastard and a pauper. And he was always kind of touchy about that. He was knighted. He was Sir Henry Morton Stanley by the end. He also worked for the King of the Belgians, Leopold II, and Leopold II did some nasty shit in the Congo, to the point where they were like, human hands were being used as currency at one point. Not so great.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was, because they were paying, like, here's your bullets, you have to sign for your bullets, and to make sure you use those bullets where they're supposed to, if you don't bring back the bullet, you have to bring back a human hand to show you killed somebody with the bullet. So if they used the bullet, or they missed, or they just used it for hunting, they would just find someone and cut their hand off, to the point where there was a second-hand hand trade. Yeah, it was fucked up, and...
at what point do you just stop and go, wait?
Wait.
We created human hand trade. I think we made a mistake here.
The locals...
How long are you trading hands for goods and services before you're like, wait a minute?
The locals genuinely thought white people ate hands. It's like, why else would they want these?
Exactly. It is a quite funny story, because I've been to Livingstone.
It would have been better.
Is that what stuff's called secondhand?
It's literally secondhand. Yeah, I know. It's yeah.
I've been to Livingstone in Zambia, and there was a story about Stanley there. They thought he was a ghost. Because
most of them had never seen a white guy before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. He also discovered that the Lapu-Lapu, I think it was the Lapu-Lapu, and the Congo were the same river. He was looking for the source of the Nile, never found it. Or if he did, I can't find exactly when he found it. But he did, however, explore the length of the Congo, and did a huge amount of Central Africa. And then, yes, it's debated how involved he was in Leopold II's bullshit in the Congo. I like to give him and most historians do give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, because he was also famously against the slave trade and generally really liked the black Africans. Got along famously.
How did you feel about the whole hands thing?
Yeah, this is the thing, and he campaigned he was trying to hey everyone, this actually though, So, but his own autobiography, in which a lot of these claims are made, also contains some serious factual errors. For example, his claim to have been adopted by Morton Stanley Sr., who he claimed died 2 years after he met the man. He did not. He died nearly 15 years after that, which is sort of like that's a weird thing to get wrong, dude, about your adoptive father who you liked so much you took his name. So yeah, there's a lot. Interesting, controversial guy. He often inflated the size of the groups of porters he took with him, which was weird because it's actually a better, more impressive achievement to do it with fewer guys, not more. Anyway, that's the thing I like to do. I like to do a little bit of a weird little deep dive in history there, and that one's today's. So I must remind our engaging, enthralling, and possibly even entrancing audience to please like, follow, and subscribe to all the things, you bloody social, you bloody socials, you bloody champions. We have all the exclamation mark socials. You were supposed to stop well before the second-hand trade bit. Yeah, well, yes. We have all the exclamation mark socials. We have a Discord if you want to come and join us there, and we have a YouTube. If you want to watch all the previous episodes of this series that you may have missed. We don't normally do recaps for this one because it was a bit of a while ago, but Karen, can you tell me about the Ukraine?
Oh, yes. I wasn't. It's like we don't normally do recaps, but Karen, why don't you? I'm like, wait, no, Ukraine.
No.
Okay. Yes, the Ukraine. You may have heard about it. There's been like a war going on for a few years, and it kind of sucks. So if you are in the position to donate a few digital pennies, you can follow the link and chuck some money at the Emergency Action Appeal, which will go to support the Ukrainian refugees, because they, unfortunately, are still being created because, you know, humanity. We're doing a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. Everything's so fine.
Everything's fine.
I'm definitely not.
Yeah, totally
racked by
fine.
I'm
anxiety.
not watching the season final of America right now or anything, no. Or the series final of America.
Look.
Yeah. I
We'll
have
see.
turned off news for a reason.
Yeah. Well, mateys, may Spectral Dragonborn fail to impede you and no kobolds threaten to rupture the borders of your reality as we head, tremulously at first and then with mounting heat and passion, into the Avium. So, we return to the Avium. Nicodemus, Aoife, and Rabbit have continued their studies after reporting to Professor Swiftwell that the ornamental dragon's egg was nothing of the sort, though the shards have been returned, so there is now a patchwork dragon egg back on his mantelpiece, and he's happy enough. It sounded very dirty from this end. Oh, I apologize.
Which bit?
Yeah, I'm curious now, Southern Skies. This led to quite...
Yeah.
This has led to quite the most thorough debrief the group has ever had from one of its adventures, explaining to progressively more senior and progressively more concerned-looking people, up to and including members of the Alderheart Council in a closed session, exactly what it was they spoke to in the cave and what they believe its intentions are.
Would Aoife have mentioned her little draconic mind link she's got going
I don't
on?
know. Would Aoife have mentioned that?
Probably not.
Probably a good idea.
It sounds insane, and she doesn't want to end up in a mental institution, should such a thing exist.
You'd
She's
probably
just like,
be...
Look, this already sounds pretty grade A crazy, so I'm just gonna
You'd
keep
probably
this
be
calm.
remanded to the Avium, actually.
Yeah.
So, the magic
Do you have
mirror...
any way to contact this dragon?
Well,
Oh, no.
did you guys tell them about the mirror?
Rabbit probably would have.
Yeah.
Probably.
The magic mirror in the cave is still there, and as its discoverers, you still have access to it, though there is now, you're one of the very few people who do, and there is now a permanent guard on the area. Apparently, the only permanent deployment of Perch Guard outside of Alderheart itself, as of a couple of months ago.
Rabbit is under the impression that this is their mirror.
Sorry?
Rabbit is under the impression that this is our collective mirror, not anyone else's, but he would have told them about it, but it's theirs.
Yeah, I mean, you can't take it. They are still letting you use it,
Yes.
and you can't take it anywhere, and they can't officially take it off you. Life has, however, possibly to at least Nicodemus's relief, calmed down a bit. Or it had until a couple of days ago when the entire Avium, as a building, shuddered under a massive pulse of power. Nicodemus would definitely have felt a distinct surge of death magic. This was followed by a surge of activity, and a good portion of the senior students, as well as several teachers, heading out through the teleportarium.
Did
Rumors
the flamingo go with them?
No, the flamingo did not go with them. Rumors abound, and with more than half the faculty not in residence, students are now on a reduced course load, leaving many to pursue extracurricular activities. So, what would you be doing with your downtime? You've had a couple of days off. Karen is aware of what went on in the world recently that probably caused that giant shuddering quake of the tree.
But in the context of this, I know.
But
nothing.
Aoife has no idea, and Aoife's aunt is definitely not dealing with the ongoing
I'm not
effects
going
of
to
that.
get a really weird family letter in the next few weeks. I know that. So
Your
I had
little
very
sister has a seriously cool story to tell you about an undead wakeworm, though.
I know Aoife definitely wants to try and get rid of one of her instabilities, namely the one where she's haunted by visions of terrible futures where people are dead. Because honestly, that one's more of a bummer than having a baby dragon occasionally popping into your brain and being
Sure,
like,
fair enough.
"Hey, how's
so
it going?
you need a
I'm learning lots of cool
catharsis-omancer.
dragon stuff." So am I, like, do we have the right people in the avium for me to try and ditch that?
The catharsis-omancer would probably still be there, yes. I need to remember the name of catharsis-omancer. Brambus Hartwell. The Hedge. Yep, that's right. Rabbit's mentor. Yes, what would Nicodemus be doing?
I think Nicodemus would, because I am very close to becoming something otherworldly.
Oh no.
But yeah,
I kind of think
have,
that's the point of this, though. Like, it's why it's not. I don't think Major Magica is designed for long-term campaign
I have
play.
3 instabilities.
Yeah. So does Aoife.
So, yeah, so I'm going to get rid of one, the ever-shifting
Catharsis, yep.
visage one, which is the number 3.
You
so-
don't get to pick. It just kind of.
It's one of them, but that's the last
yeah.
one I got. So
Yeah. It would be good to get
I
rid of that
imagine
one.
that for like the first day, Nicodemus would be just basically face shifting through walls and trying to see if that works, so he can get into the restricted section of the library that he has been banned from.
No,
He just can't be restrained. He just has to be in
Yeah.
the restricted section. It's-
And if that doesn't work, he will just go, well, I guess I'll just go and get rid of this then. It's not working for me anyway, and I see multitudes, and it's scary.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
you do.
rules as written, it says that the highest level instability gets removed first.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So I
Yeah,
can't
so
get rid
that
of the
would be
haunted
the-
visions without getting rid of my dragon link.
Yeah,
I'm prepared to play with that though.
Yep.
Because some levels of instability are interesting. The reason being is if you're at level 2 and then you cop a third one again, you don't want another third level instability. But if you've gotten rid of a second level instability in place of a third level instability, then I'll have you roll on the second level of the chart again rather than the third. Would be the way to work around that one. Rabbit, what are you doing?
He's not sure whether he wants to get rid of his instability or he wants to try to Eureka. But I think he might want to get rid of that static in his head because I can't actually remember what it does.
Yeah, I'd have to watch a back episode.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that is that he can't remember his family or he can, and they won't get out of his head. If it's the latter, he wants it gone. If not, he would like to keep it. But,
I think it was that. I think it was actually a relief.
oh, then No, he's going to.
I think that was it. I remember that. Yeah.
Let me just check this.
And it's
thing
kind
again.
of, yeah. Bron has a similar thing where he like kind of voluntarily gave up those memories and actually feels better for it,
Yes.
though it's a bit weird.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what. So he doesn't want to get rid of any of his instabilities. I think he wants to refresh his resistance, actually.
So it's going to consider his place in the cosmos.
Yes.
Very well. So, well, Rabbit, where would you go to consider your place in the cosmos?
I think he goes and sits and slows down time around him. Oh, slows down time where, like, in his little personal bubble in front of that mirror.
Ah, yep.
Yep.
I love that. Ooh, that's very interesting. Yes, that's very cool. In a second, I realized that I can hear the voices in my head far too clearly. Avian music, please. So, Rabbit, you go to the cave and you sit, and you slow down time for yourself, and looking through the mirror, which kind of just swirls like a misty haze most of the time. You discover that when you slow down time to, it's like finding the right frequency on a radio. You have to slow down time exactly the right amount to resolve images in the mirror.
Yes.
And you find that just at this exact point, you can see, it's not clear by any stretch, but you start being able to resolve things resolve images and almost ideas in the mirror. And can you make me a magic check?
Is that evoke or ponder?
Evoke.
Evoke. So I will be rolling 2d6, or I've got 2 points in.
Well, you actually also have a point of level up. You all do.
Oh.
What would you be leveling up with?
I think he would put another one in evoke. Actually, he's yeah. I think he'd
Tony.
put another one in evoke.
Very well. So at this point, Aoife and Nicodemus should have 10 points invested, and Rabbit should have 7. And points are
Yes.
like each one of your evoke, ponder, whatever, and then
Wait, how many points?
1 point for each of your spell styles, and then 1 point for each of the points that you have in the in your spirit, sprint, evoke, ponder, and bloviate.
I have 8. Did you say
Yeah,
I
but
should
we
have
have
10?
2 magics.
With your 2 magics, magic
8
styles,
including my 2. I have transmutation, enchantment, 2 shift, 1 ponder, 2 evoke, 1 bloviate.
given the number of episodes you've been in, you should have 10.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll add 2 then.
Well, you'll be adding 1 now, so I imagine we just lost 1 somewhere along the way.
Yeah, so I will be adding 1 because mine actually check out. Yes.
Yep.
Hey, I think I'm gonna add that one.
So that's
Is there a limit on how many you can have in each?
Nope.
Cool.
I feel
I'm
like
gonna put
4
another one
maybe,
on
but
the-
that was only in character creation. You can put 4 all in one thing, but you don't have to. But
Yeah.
I don't think there's any max.
I think I'm gonna put that one in.
And I want to stress
on
that the way I would rule it is if you get to 4 instability, you basically graduate.
Yeah.
Like your character wouldn't necessarily die. They would just not be a player character anymore, and you just get a new character. For when we continue on. And yeah, your character would go off and do something else. They're just not playable. And I think it is, and credit to Devin in this, I think it is actually kind of designed that way, because otherwise you can get to the point where you're really just quite good at everything. If you have like three or four different styles of magic, and then 4 points in every skill, it's hard to fail stuff. Anyway,
I will tell you in advance. If when Rabbit graduates, you can take him on as an NPC if you'd like.
Good. That would absolutely be what would happen. You'd become senior students and would probably enter your sort of... And that's the way I would view it in this world, would be the players stop going on excursions and stuff and really get down into the nitty-gritty of their preferred... Sort of, essentially, they're going into a PhD, where you just can't do anything else, really, or your entire focus is on this for the next several years. And having had several friends who've done a PhD, you kind of lose them for a while, and it's nice to get them back at the end of it. They come out of it changed and somewhat odd.
It was never the same afterwards.
Just operating on a different mental level now, just operating with a level of critical thought that they weren't before. If you're lucky.
Josh,
yes, so evoke.
Evoke check. Refresh me. I've got 3 in evoke and 1 in chronomancy, which is what I'm using. So would that be 4 dice?
It would be 4 dice, and you need 6s.
Yep, I need to roll another dice then, and then roll. I got 1 6.
Hey.
2 5s and a 1.
Oof. Hey, Leon. Cool. With a single 6, you can see... You feel from the... You feel from looking into this mirror, bearing in mind who made it, you sense notions of the world beyond it, of a... You get the impression that the place that at the other end of this mirror is actually not a world in and of itself at all. It is a demi-plane, and not a particularly large one. And you can see it kind of superimposing itself on other planes semi-regularly. It just sort of pops in and out. And never appearing particularly large on the actual plane it appears. Often it looks like a giant wooden door in a stony wall. But everything beyond is the demi-plane itself. And within it you can sense a lot of magic that the likes of which you've never sensed. In your world, almost all magic is very elemental in nature.
Yes.
Through this mirror, you can see kinds of magic no one's ever really sensed before.
Rabbit is very intrigued, and as he's there meditating, he's making a sort of mental note there that this is a kind of magic that he might want to try to harness at some point. All of them. He would like to learn more and see if that can be harnessed and possibly help our world as well.
So can you please write down a statement about the cosmos that has become more clear to you, and a question about the cosmos you would like to discover the answer to? Which was presented that is from the book. Whilst Nicodemus and Aoife go to see the Catharsisomancer, would you go together or would you go separately?
I mean, Aoife doesn't have any problem with them going together, so it's really up to whether Nico is okay with it.
I think it's considering previous attempts at getting into the library, I think Nico would find Aoife and just well, I thought that the what's the word I'm looking for? I thought that the most recent development, and he's gonna like face shift his paw a little bit, would help getting into the section. But no, I'm heading to the Professor, to try and get rid of this, because it's kind of an inconvenience to see into the various planes.
To the casual observer, Nicodemus sometimes looks like a Pablo Picasso painting.
Yeah, like,
It's a sort of just his eyes like drift around, just it's no inconvenience. It doesn't mean he can't be as a normal person, but it's not useful.
Nicodemus is currently the most fucked up shrew you've ever seen. Like, he has neon green glowing runes all over his fur.
Drifting around his skin. Yeah.
He sometimes just randomly speaks a language no one understands, because one of the other ones is that he speaks in
Speaking tongues, yep.
And then suddenly just turns into a cross between a Picasso and a Dali painting. Just
yeah, starts melting a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas Aoife is relatively sane, just every now and again, just sort of like, yes, I know, I know, it sounds fun, but shush, shush.
While my eyes go bright purple.
Yeah, and seem to glitter, like swirl. It is reflective of the mood of the dragon you're talking to at the time.
I just realized just how fucked up my character looks, because he has this really huge bottle glasses and the huge sword made out of driftwood. And just randomly turns into a Dali painting and speaks in tongues.
So you...
I need to fix this. Just this.
So you go and try and talk to the... you go to see Professor Hartwell. Professor Hartwell's classroom is on the ground floor, and this is a chronomancer, a hedge man. Nicodemus, Aoife, you come see me, yes?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what Aoife's voice was like, because she ended up sounding like Sarah Milligan last time, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I think that was about right, yeah. Look, if not, let's go with that. It's fun.
It's trying to be Welsh. Ended up as Sarah Milligan.
Ended up Yorkshire. There we go, never mind. Hello, Pet. Hello, Petal.
Hello, Professor. I seem to be having horrific premonitions of a terrible future in which somebody I love is dead, and I'd really like to not.
Quite understandable. You wish also something, Nicodemus?
Yeah. So it would be nice to not this, and it just.
And as he gestures, one of his fingers sort of drips off.
And then reforms, and just his face just twitches slightly. Just, this.
I can see perhaps one's dating prospects limited by this, yes?
Well, I nearly shifted into a wall yesterday, so I would like this to end.
Pull up a beanbag.
Yes.
He gestures with a flick of the hand to the desks across the room, which seem to reverse, which have a spell kind of permanently on them. He has set them in two different states in time, one where they were laid out neatly and one where they were stacked against the wall, and he just sort of flicks his fingers and very, very quickly they revert to the other state, and they are now stacked neatly along one wall. And he gestures, and a pair of beanbags, which are... It is shaped like a T. You kneel on the upside down. You kneel on the wide bit, and then there's a little bit in the middle that you can sit on. So you have a sort of kneeling beanbag. And he says, "Come, join. Let us knock on sky. Listen to sound."
What was this guy's name again?
Brambus Hartwell.
Brambus Hartwell. Great name.
I believe it was an audience bought.
Well, congrats to whoever's idea that was.
I just love the fact that, like, the two traits I picked for Nicodemus when we started was energetic and beautiful.
And we have made him not that.
He's not that. Like, it was to the point where he couldn't walk through the halls without having a fan club, and now it's like he can't walk through the walls without walking through the walls.
So you roll 3 6-sided dice each, and remove instabilities on a success. Remove an additional instability per additional success. Wizard may take hubris to succeed, but as usual, but also spend hubris on multiple dice. Oh yes, cool.
Cool. That was no successes.
Anything close?
2, 3, and 4.
Ooh.
And I already have 2 hubris. I have 2 out of 5 hubris currently.
2 out of 6.
2 out of 6.
It's 6. Yeah. 6 is the number where you get another inspiration. Well, if you spend 2 hubris, you can you can remove an inspiration.
Yeah, I got 1 6 and 2 4s. I'm not gonna spend any more hubris because I have 5 out of 6.
Well, if you did, you could. If you spent a 6 and 2 4s, if you spend 2, you'd get a new one and then instantly remove it, resetting your track.
Yeah. True, I could do that.
Always remove it if you can.
Yeah.
Is the thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything
let's do
above
that.
a
Let's
3
remove
is
2.
worth doing.
Yeah. So let's do that. Let's reset the track. So that would be 2 successes.
So Nicodemus, you're on 1 on a new track. You've already spent 1 on the next track,
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, and Karen burns 2. So your track is almost full, but you have managed to remove a point.
So I have 4 out of 6 hubris, but I'm no longer haunted by visions of a terrible future.
Yeah.
I'm still speaking tongues, and I
think
glow
technically
with neon
speaking,
green.
my love, actually, if you put 3 more points into the 3, you could reset your track and be at the same place with Nicodemus is.
What?
Because you'd go unstable from the hubris, but you'd also go around the corner and remove it immediately.
And then just be 1 hubris.
I have 1 hubris
Yeah.
and be still down an instability.
Sure. I'm prepared to do that.
Yeah.
So I have 1 hubris now. And still 2 instability.
Yep.
Since doing this usually counts as success with the consequence that will be some sort of permanent reminder of the instability left with the wizard that has no longer but it is no longer mechanically detrimental. Nicodemus, you managed to remove the constantly shifting visage, but the finger never grows back.
Okay. He's like, oh.
Nicodemus, it's perfectly smooth. It's like your hand just only ever had 4 fingers.
Yeah. It's like,
You go to like, hang on, why aren't they even?
yeah. It's like,
And you see it on the ground, and it's there. It's like, oh, that's...
fascinating.
So you still have your finger, it's just not attached.
Yeah.
Is it like still alive? Wiggling about? Or just off?
Ooh, I'm not sure. No, it's not.
Probably not.
No.
It's just,
Oh
weird?
my god, it would be so weird to feel. It's like you can still feel through it. No,
I don't
No.
care for that.
no, I don't like that
Yeah.
either.
I do.
Well, when it happens to
Yeah.
you can have it. And
Imagine all the uses it might have.
Well, I know it was a practically, exceptionally useful thing. Also, no and gross. And what is it we're getting rid of for Aoife?
I'm losing my my haunting visions of terrible futures. Because, if the future is going to be that bad, I don't want to know.
Aoife, as you slip into this trance, basically, what happens is, I think actually Terris did a very good job of describing this the very first time we did it. the catharsisomancer, the school catharsisomancer empties out a sand timer and sort of breaks it in half, and the sand swirls around you, and you meditate essentially in this time-altered space, with him sort of subtly, psychically guiding both of you down the correct pathways to settle your stability out a little bit. He guides both of you in taking emotional risks and sort of just settling parts of yourself that actually choices that you didn't know you'd made, or choices you had never thought to make. You settle them down inside yourself and just come out of this a little bit more at peace with yourselves. And it's sort of, he's somewhere between a counselor and he's somewhere between the school counselor and the school phys ed teacher, I think.
That's a hell of a combo.
And no, health and counselor. Like, he's the health teacher and the counselor. But Aoife, just as you're focusing on this element of your instability that you really want gone, you get one final vision of an apocalyptic future where you are looking up into the sky and you see the stars blinking out.
Ah, shit.
As the moon, one of the moons, significantly larger than it normally is cracking along its center line. I know, Leon, they do tend to be the same. Same in Australia, actually, yes. The health teacher in America is usually the gym teacher as well, yeah. My health teacher, the teacher I had in a high school for health, was an Olympic triathlete. She was also a lesbian, teaching an exclusively all-male class how to do condoms and stuff. I was like, wow, you're like, we know more about this than you, woman. It's like, no shade, but like, I've done this. Anywho. So yes, that is what Aoife sees. Nicodemus receives a slight sad reminder. At least she would have had their attention. Well, yeah. She was awesome as well. She was a really cool teacher. One of the best I had at that school. So, that is how you spend your downtime. So Rabbit took a point in Evoke. What did Nicodemus do?
Nicodemus took a point
in Ponder.
And Aoife?
Because I had to add 2, I added 1 to Ponder and 1 to Evoke.
Lovely.
Yay.
Good. Alrighty. So, reconvening a little while later, the world has gone a little bit screwy. There is rumors of an incursion from the plane of death. The math ain't mathin', Josh. How so? What do you mean? Yeah, that is where it is suspected a lot of people go. There is some people who said they saw this huge lizard thing flying towards Saltar's Point, which gets Aoife's attention because it's where you're from. But you know that Korvax Ravana is missing. He's gone, and everybody knows that he went. But yes, along with a bunch of their other students. There are, however, a couple of your guys are a little bored, so there are a couple of tasks on the notice board that sort of pique your attention. Firstly, Professor Noctua, the scribe master, has a theory about palanar displacement they would like tested.
Is that the flamingo?
It is the flamingo, yes.
Okay.
No more details. Just who wants to test a theory on palanar displacement?
It's not just a theory. It's also an object. So you guys would know that Professor Noctua is not of this plane.
That interests Rabbit.
Dean Winsworth, on the other hand, the head of the avium, the headmaster, has detected a source of magic the likes of which he has never seen before, and is looking for students to go on a... this would be an international adventure to check it out.
Ooh.
Oh, Rabbit is so torn.
Yes.
They're both good. One of them is one you've seen before. The Noctua one was on before. But yes. Both are good.
Oh, Rabbit is so torn because both of his goals right now are both of
Hey,
these
John.
things.
Yeah, same.
He wants to get his paws on magic, but he also wants to know about the cosmos and the interplanar things.
I'm not even,
Nicodemus'
like-
thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
take care, Tony.
Nicodemus' thing is to uncover lost truths. So it's
Oh,
like,
yeah. Which one is likely to involve pizza?
What's
Rabbit,
pizza?
what were your what question and what thing did you write, by the way?
So the thing he wrote is, and I've sort of written it a little bit vaguely in a shorthand because I'm trying to figure out how he would write it. And it is that he's learned that basically, like, he understood that there were different planes. He understood this in the cosmos. But he now understands by watching that demi-plane bounce from place to place just how small a part of the cosmos their particular world is. That it's not the center of the universe, basically. He's kind of learned, he's growing up, basically, knowing this by seeing other things. And going on from that, his question is, how does it all fit together? And is there a way to see that big picture?
Does he talk to anybody about that?
I think he'd talk to his mentor.
Which is Professor Hartwell, I think.
Yes. Yes.
What exactly is it you seek?
Well, I've seen things, Professor. The different planes, the demi-planes, the way
Beyond our own.
beyond our own. I've seen it. I can't, and I think he would explain where and how. I've
You
been
have
at the mirror.
touched.
Yes. And I want to see more. I want to see how it all works. I want to see the mechanics of it, how it all fits together. Why
Rabbit.
certain bits. Yes.
Forward in time is not the only place one can go. Long go back. I have looked and been. Once there was dragons before. So long that it could not be seen, but I have been.
Oh. So look back,
Once
not just forward.
there was many more. Places, worlds, planes. We were connected. Something broke, something took, something hidden still. I possess not all the information.
Professor, I want to fix it.
Ask yourself, Rabbit. Not can, but should.
All broken things should be fixed, yes?
Is broken what was done? Hidden, stolen?
Stolen.
Not necessarily. Saved, perhaps. Who did, I do not know.
Oh.
Communed with the gods, I have not. Professor Ravanya, he will not tell.
palatte feathers.
Perhaps he even does not know.
Ravania is a bird, right?
Yes.
Yeah, just muttered under his breath, palatte feathers. Mm. No. And the professor would know that was a joke.
Yeah. Well, he's a hedge. He would smile.
Pluck. Yeah, just pluck. Naked bird.
When you see him next, you will know exactly how easy that would be.
Yes. Maybe he can be reasoned with. If not,
I always feel with Ravania, if he knows, he may tell. He would never hide.
Well, if not, I find my own way to learn.
He's always thought, I think, that he knows more than he says. Sometimes I think he does not actually know much at all. He's just good at bullshit.
Yes. Some professors often are. Not you.
He chuckles. So, which of two missions you fancy take?
Oh. I could not possibly choose, Professor.
I cannot see, but one I feel will take you where you want to go. One will show you what you want to know.
Oh. It's so hard.
Talk to your friends.
Yes. I will talk with them and let you know, Professor.
I have not
And,
the information of either. Talk to Noctua. Talk to Winsworth.
Of course, yes. Yes, of course. Take care, in case we all die or something.
Then it is you who should take care, Rabbit.
Always.
And he hugs you.
Oh, he will hug back very carefully so as not to get spiked.
There's an art to hugging hedges, yeah. I think he's quite a large hedge, though. I think you can only cuddle the front half of him. So you only get your arms around the furry bit.
Yeah, and also Rabbit is a very small fennec Vulcan, so. And he will scurry off to his friends, sort of bouncing over and around anybody that gets in his way, slowing them down, speeding them up as need be to manipulate them out of his hallway.
Yeah, you do that. So yeah.
Yes.
What do you fancy?
Rabbit is so torn, he cannot make this decision.
Well, as much as I would love both of these missions, the last time we touched an unknown object,
It hatched.
it hatched. So maybe not play with the unknown objects, maybe play with unknown magics this time. Maybe?
So, you would rather go on a very, very long international trip to look at strange magic than a possibly inter-palanar object again? Maybe.
Well, when you put it like that, you're making my day.
Well, it's a teleport situation, so it's not a long journey. It's just a far journey.
Okay, so we're not gonna have to spend ages traveling.
No.
We'll just be far away.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes it sound better.
This is definitely not what Aoife's voice was before, but I think it's way better, and I love
I
it.
have no idea what Aoife's voice is anymore.
Yeah, no, I think
It's
you're doing a
changed too
solid
many
Sarah
times.
Millican. Yeah. Let's lock that in, though. That's a good one.
So last time we went for a long journey, far away. This happened, and he points to the runes.
As Crispin Crunch says, so object was what was what Nicodemus took away from touching unknown object. It was like, yeah, the object was the problem, not what was in it. Yeah. Or the touching part of it. Yeah, yeah. Also, this object is known.
Yeah. It's like squinch, squinch, squinch. Well, although I don't think we have we worked with this strange flamingo before? I don't think so.
No, not really. No.
So that could be fun. That could be another.
He has
you
very little
just feel
fur
like
and
he's-
no feathers. And,
yeah,
He doesn't have feathers. He's just got pink
No.
flesh.
yes.
yeah. Like Nico just deep breath as he starts feeling that whole talking in tongues situation coming on. Just...
Yeah, no, if any of them are Pokemon-ish,
Rabbit
it's
is
actually
going to just-
Nicodemus.
Yeah, Rabbit is just going to slow you down by half until you catch your breath.
Yeah. Just- right. Okay. Well, as we are, I'm pretty sure we were gathering a little bit of a reputation here. I don't see why it would be bad to get another little name on maybe a resume later on. So maybe we go help the flamingo. I shouldn't keep calling him that, but
It's a flamingo.
Professor Noctua. Professor Noctua. That one. Not
Flamingo.
the flamingo professor.
yes, Professor Noctua. If we could help him, we might be able to get a little bit more points on our little resume. Maybe later on. Maybe I don't know.
Oh, I see. Leon
yes.
thinks the picture of Rabbit is... No, that's Terris. And that is just a ferret. No,
Yes.
Rabbit is a fennec fox, actually, Leon. Cool. So you're going to go and talk to Professor Noctua.
Seems
That's
like yes.
Nico's suggestion. Yes.
Okay.
Definitely when undecided, go with what'll look good on your resume.
Cool. You go to see Professor Noctua, which is interesting. No one's actually ever talked to the man before. In this setting. So yeah, everybody's sort of aware of him. Everyone's a little intimidated by him. He's about 6 foot tall. He only has fur on his head. And very quite flat features, no muzzle particularly to speak of, no beak either. He has a sort of his nose is a little beak shaped, but it's clearly made of skin and cartilage rather than bone, or beak. Yeah, he has long fur coming out of the top of his head that runs down his neck, and blonde. And his ears sort of stick out backwards from his head and on the sides, not on the top where most mammalian peoples do. He wears the robes of a scribe, and he's generally he's often found in the library, but his classroom is a large, spacious, extremely neat and well laid out place. He is in there actually talking to... Yes, he's an elf. Yeah.
It's a flamingo.
But when I described him the first time, everyone was like, what is that you're describing in a world of animals? Yeah, that's the fun part. No one's ever seen one before. He is in...
Is he aware his nickname is the flamingo?
No, because that's just something that was made up meta. I didn't it wasn't even said in character.
Okay.
Flamingos aren't a thing here either. So none of you would have any point of reference for this.
Oh yeah, and there are no primates either, are there?
No.
So we wouldn't even call him like a
monkey,
large
no.
chimpanzee or a monkey.
He probably looks closer to a Tilia than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, flamingo folk, I imagine they probably are planning on releasing like flamingo-style bird folk over in the Tangle Wilds area. I could see that, but yeah, in the Humblewood No one even has pink feathers. It just doesn't. There's nothing like this. His skin is not even pink. Really, that's not being fair. It's more sort of a light yellow brown.
Yeah. I can imagine. Oh, I know what Nicodemus would think. He looks
doesn't
like
look
a
like
fucked up
Steven.
servant.
At best, yeah. It's somewhere between a Tilia and a servant without horns. Yeah.
So, I've just had a thought. Rabbit may be an import because he's a fennec.
Could be.
Anyway, just a thought.
Not all flamingos are pink. Well, but flamingos aren't pink at all unless they are living in the correct water. They all turn pink because of the alkali.
No, I think Nicodemus would be like, oh, a servant that whatever happened just happened to me happened to them.
A servant
And
with
then
mange.
they're stuck like that.
Yeah, so you go in and you talk to him. He is, standing at he's got a very long desk at the head of a classroom with a big blackboard behind him, which is covered in beautiful cursive handwriting. And he appears to be writing something. On the desk next to him, as you come in, is a large copper orb on, sort of got built-in little tin legs. They're sort of dark tin, and it's covered in like wires, and it's clearly a contraption, and definitely doesn't look like something he would have made. He doesn't look like a craftsman situation. And he is clearly making notes on it as you enter.
Josh, what does Rabbit roll to resist the temptation to stick his nose directly on that orb?
Wisdom. Social grace is bloviate.
He has 0.
That's about right. Yep. Yeah. Roll 2 and take the worst.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
He rolled a 5 and a 1. So
wow.
yeah, he is going to wander over
completely fails and boop.
boop the snoot onto that.
It is exceptionally cold.
Ooh, then he's going to stick his tongue on it.
Yeah, like almost instant stick. He looks over and sort of raises an eyebrow.
Why?
You know, he'd be
Seriously?
he'd be like the third, maybe no, fourth student to do that. But his is the longest tongue. Hello. What do you want?
The thing.
He's got a cup of tea next to him, and he pours it on Rabbit's tongue, and sort of like, there you go, mate. There you go.
That was cold.
Yes, yeah, it's supposed to be. Please don't do that again. It only works if it's cold.
Okay.
What's it supposed to do, Professor?
It is a test contraption. Professor Varys and I have been trying to figure out. Actually, hang on. Before we go into that, what do you lot want?
Your message on the message board.
Oh, good. All right, yeah, all right. Then, well, that's exactly what this is about. Good. All right.
So I just did it.
Oh, well, good. Yeah, you established it was fucking cold. Good. Yes, that's the point. Well done. No, the point is what it is. So, I don't know if you guys know. I'm not from around here. Bit of a wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey, made a couple of mistakes and a seriously very big spell back in Hazeloft, and all of a sudden, blam, here I am.
Back in what?
Hazeloft.
Oh,
it's the city I'm from, but it's not on this plane, which is why I don't look like anybody you've ever seen.
I thought you were a servant.
No. Yeah, good guess. No. No. I'm an elf. It's called. We're elves. Technically, I'm a Shadar-kai, actually, which are sort of dark elves, but not like, I don't know. I've never liked the term. I'm happy with just Shadar-kai, but yeah, whatever. And not that I ever went to the Shadowfell at all, which is where the Shadar-kai are technically from. I was born on the material.
Shadow, does that have anything to do with death magic? Because that's kind of a part of my specialty, kind of a little bit.
Associated with, but so yeah, this place is so fascinating. I've been here for what 25 years, and I'm still sort of getting my head around
That's long
Doesn't
before I was
that
born.
give
the
you life?
magic of this plane. Yeah, elves live for several thousand years normally, so I've got a while. But I am
That's
trying to get
fascinating.
back. Thanks. That's kind of you to say. Yeah. So, but yeah, I am trying to get back, and the magic of this plane is very different. It's why I wound up scribe teaching, because it's I don't have access to a lot of the magic I would normally, because I'm not attuned to your shit's all elemental, guys, and it's fascinating that you've built an entire that everything here works on the elemental level, which is not the way any of the other planes work. It's very really interesting, but yeah, I can't use a lot of it. So I'd love to get back, where but the point is, I'm trying to work out a way of going to and from, because I'd love to be able to commute to work, because I do like my job and I'm fascinated by this place, and yeah, I've made some good mates here. But at the same time, I do miss my wife.
I bet she misses you too after that long away.
Oh, she's had a couple of 50-year sabbaticals as well. We're a little over 400 years old, mate. Marriages work a little bit differently in elven culture. But no, I would still like to see her again.
So-
Anyway, sorry, yeah.
So you're trying to create a device that will take you from our plane here in the avium to the plane where you came from.
Correct.
So you can go see your wife, who you haven't seen for 50 years.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, what we're trying to do is develop an inter-palanar transportation device, so it's a little bit more impressive than just I need to visit the missus. This is a test, obviously, but it's the first test with a creature in it, and I don't plan to be the creature, and I don't plan for any of you fuckers to be the creature either. Definitely don't do that. I happen to have a newt in question for it.
So what exactly are we doing in regards to the inter-palanar device?
Well, so you guys got to charge it up. You got to take it somewhere safe, as in a long way away from anything else, just in case it goes horribly wrong. And then you got to charge it up, which I can't do because I do not possess magic from here. Well, Professor Varus and I we reckon this will probably work. The little coils on it are what's he called it? Halversite. Little leftover stuff he managed to finagle, which is neat. Absurdly conductive material. I've never seen anything like it before. This is my point. It would be so great to be able to have a trade between our worlds. There's so much we could teach each other.
It's the dragon. Sorry.
What?
Yeah.
What now?
What he said.
So we charge it up and then we put the newt in it.
Yes.
But
This is Peck. And Peck is, he holds up this little, it's a little, it's not a cage, it's a little terrarium. It's got a sandy bit with a little bit of water in it and a couple of branches and stuff, and there's a little green newt in there. So this is Peck. He's very bravely volunteered to go first.
On the last mission, we kind of ran into a person who could travel between dimensions.
Yeah.
Yes, the Dean did tell me, but it also caused a permanent rent in the universe.
Yes, but.
And
maybe
also,
if we take
I'm
some
not
of
messing around with a dragon.
She was quite lovely, though. The
I'm
tiny
sure
one, at
she
least.
was. As long as you're doing what she wants, dragons are lovely creatures.
That's
You've
very
met one too?
I've met a few in my time.
Oh.
Where I'm from, they're
that's
not
okay.
common exactly, thank God, but they're not rare by any stretch. Not unusual
god?
for a now there's a question. Well, So like an amaranthine.
All right, then I get you. No, so what I was thinking was, if we take some of that energy and charge your thingamajig, and then we try it.
That's an interesting proposition. Charge it up with the mirror.
Yeah.
Oh, as long as the mirror doesn't break, because that would be sad. Yes.
It would be
that's our
it
mirror.
wouldn't be a permanent drain. It would just that thing's permanently emitting low levels of magic, essentially.
Technically, then, that could actually be a thing. Oh,
it's not bravely, Leon. The newt has no say in the matter. It's a newt. It's not a living. It's not a sentient newt. It's a newt.
but that might actually cause some problems, though, because if that is draconic energy and we're using with elemental or like primordial energy, it might clash just a teensy little bit.
Might do. Yeah, that's exactly my point. Also, if it does go horribly wrong, you might lose your mirror.
Would it possibly be safer to try it with regular magic? And then if
Probably
that doesn't
yes.
work, maybe then progress to
Well, that was exactly my thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
try the less
So-
insanely dangerous thing first.
Also, Halversite, I believe, works well. It's never been tested with draconic magic because there isn't much sources of it in the wood. Again,
Also true.
thank the gods. So,
And
Yeah,
the
we should
amaranthines.
Well then.
Yes. That.
in fact, it's my
Oh.
suspicion that it is indeed the amaranthines you have to thank for that.
Yeah. Well, I would suggest that the big bad swamp where we found all the dead people, but I think they're kind of repopulating that place, so that would probably not be a good testing ground.
Yeah, if we're gonna charge it up with anything, stay away from any of your nodes. Yeah, use your magic, not the node's magic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't want it attuned to any of one of your elemental planes, particularly. Otherwise, I might wind up there instead. And
So maybe I do chronomancy, not silicomancy?
yeah, yeah, that's safer. That's
Yeah.
about as close to neutral as I've encountered in this place.
Okay.
Yeah, should probably stay away from.
So keep it in the positive, not the negative. Give it forward, not entropy. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well, I was
mine
thinking
could
maybe
probably be a
still.
little bit. Yeah, mine could probably be a little bit unstable.
Oh.
Because both of mine are heavily dependent on two of the actual elements.
That's fine, as long as it's
One
roughly
being
in
light
balance.
and the other death.
Yeah. No, but that's in balance. That's the whole point.
I feel like my
If you're going to
enchantment
use
magic might be a
silicomancy,
good
then
call.
throw
That could be.
water or air at the other end of it.
Because enchantment magic is to imbue things with properties. So if I'm imbuing it with the property of being able to transport you
Perfect.
back to your
Yeah,
home
yeah.
plane,
Yeah. No, that's exactly what we're looking for. Yeah.
And technically, time and space is sort of kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
There
A
is a
little
theory
bit?
where I'm from where they are essentially the same thing, just viewed
Yeah.
from different angles.
right. So how far away do you think we need to go?
Look, probably pick a nice deserted stretch of forest, or maybe a couple of hundred, maybe at least a mile from anywhere else. I can't imagine the blast zone would be that big. If something did go horribly wrong, my supposition is more that it's not about. I don't for a moment think it's going to explode. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sending you guys out there. It's more like
That's comforting.
when it comes back, I need somebody there who is capable of containing anything that goes wrong with that.
How will we know if it's worked?
Well, it'll disappear, and it's supposed to bounce back about 5 minutes later.
Right, so if the newt disappears for 5 minutes and then comes back and is still alive, successful
Bob's
test.
your transvestite auntie. Yeah.
What?
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 But, Professor,
Hmm.
how will the newt tell us where it's been?
Oh, he doesn't need to. He just needs to survive the experience. Then we can send somebody else. Well, actually, does anybody happen to know speak with animals?
I didn't think you could.
Oh, I don't.
Well,
mean,
I fortunately do. So I'll ask him when you bring him back.
So we bring the newt back, and you tell us if the newt has actually travelled to a different dimension.
Well, honestly, I hadn't gotten that far ahead in my head. I was like, as long as the newt survives, I'll hop in a larger version of the canister. We'll probably just magically make it bigger. And then I'll go.
I'll do it.
Postulating that this actually works, and the newt goes vamp into another plane of existence, and then 5 minutes back later goes vamp and comes back again.
Mm-hmm.
And before we suggested that you talk to it, you would just do the same thing, not knowing in the slightest where the hell you sorry,
Anywhere
where
that would
in-
kill the newt. Anywhere that won't kill a newt in 5 minutes won't kill me in 5 minutes, is my logic.
Unless it's underwater.
I do know how to cast breathe water.
Oh, okay.
I think what the professor's getting at here
But
is that
enough
there's an
magic
element
I
of
can-
risk in any new discovery, and they're prepared to take on this risk to maybe see their wife.
I've
and get
already
laid.
jumped into a plane that wasn't theoretically possible to jump into once. You know, I'm up for going again.
Okay.
I mean, I was a surrealist painting for about a week, so anything is possible.
I did notice,
Technically,
yeah.
I'm linked to an interplanar dimensional being, and I'm not sure how long it's going to last.
Do you want to... Could you go further into that? Just in what way?
Oh,
Are
sometimes
you okay?
the dragon talks in my head. I kind of
Oh.
hadn't mentioned it because I thought it made me sound crazy, but if you're
Well,
interested
it probably
in
does to
interdimensional
people who
things,
don't know about dragons, but yeah. What's it saying?
Oh, just whatever comes into her mind. I've had updates about breakfast, the weather, and her opinion on the latest bard she had the misfortune to experience. Her words, not mine.
She
Interesting.
was also wait. I never understood this, Aoife. The being that's in your mind, is that the baby dragon or the big one?
It's the baby
Oh.
dragon.
Oh, it's the baby one. It's weary. Yeah.
Okay.
She's a real
yes.
chatterbox sometimes, and other times she forgets about me for days at a time.
If it's a baby dragon,
Yeah.
mate, it's probably sleeping.
Yeah.
That,
Okay,
that,
so-
that would make sense, yes.
Just to see if I understand this assignment correctly, we grab the freezing orb.
Yeah, hold
We
it by the
grab the
legs.
newt.
Yeah.
We find a place where not that many living beings will be terribly upset if we blow it apart.
Yeah.
We send the newt somewhere that is not this plane of existence. We wait 5 minutes. Hopefully it comes back. And then we report back.
That's the idea, yes. If
All right.
everything goes exactly as planned, then the newt will actually be going to a place called Hazeloft and a wizard college in Hazeloft. And
Should
if
we leave
the
a note
newt,
with it?
well, if the newt gets there, a newt showing up in Hazeloft, it's kind of like a code.
Wait. You have a pre-established kind of, if a random newt appears, it probably means this kind of situation.
Not exactly, but one of the other teachers there, he and we have messenger newts with each other.
Right.
It was a joke initially, and then he and we just kept strapping notes to the backs of the newts, and that escalated to them teaching the newts to speak, But just a single word or a single sentence or something. So like he taught his newt to just hide because they're really good at hiding in places and like because they're small and sticky. So they're like in geckos, just small lizards, things that can just like hiding on a wall behind you and just screech obscenities at you in the middle of the night and you can't find them. It's funny, right?
Yeah. Nico is going to. Are there windows in this room?
Yes, yeah, all along one wall.
So he's going to hold out the paw with the currently only has 4 fingers on it. Twitch his glasses a little bit to catch the light from outside, and then form that into a gecko in his hand, and just poke his fingers through it, and just go false newt.
Oh.
You boop the snoot of the newt.
Just meep, meep, meep. Newt.
Oh, so,
It
yeah,
brings
very good.
false newts.
Okay,
Oh, good.
so this
So,
all
yeah,
sounds
hopefully,
quite straightforward.
if that pops
could-
up in the
couldn't
middle of the-
possibly go wrong.
Well, it could absolutely go wrong. That's why we're testing it. But yeah, that's the idea. Hopefully, and look, if it does pop up there and a newt crawls out, he'll know it's from me, or at least he might guess. It might make him think that's that's funny. Where have you been? So he might be able to do something with it in the 5 minutes that it's there before it pops back. Maybe, I don't know.
Professor,
Mm.
I've just had a very terrible thought. Well, I've been down by the mirror quite a bit, meditating and like slowing down time around myself. And I've found that if I slow the time down enough, I can actually see stuff. And it's made me wonder if maybe certain places time moves differently. What if it's been 1,000 years for them and only 25 for you?
Well, you get a dead newt, right?
It
Maybe.
might be. Look, I won't lie and say that I hadn't considered that. I'm quietly praying that that's not the case. That if anything, I'm the one who's going faster. Because
Oh,
that's
that
the
would be
trick.
great,
You might be
because
going
then
the other way, and I'll
Yeah,
only
then-
last a
then
few
you-
years.
for a few minutes, even.
Or it's rarely that large a dilation. It's rarely more than sort of 100 to 1. What my experience is, generally speaking, these things can be inconsistent. Sometimes one plane is going faster than the other. Sometimes one plane is going slower than the other. My knowledge of chrono stuff isn't fantastic, but basically the way I understand it is some events are important and need to happen, and that's where a confluence point occurs. However, the amount of stuff that happens in between them in both places might be different. So time will slow down or speed up to make it work is sort of a kind of self-fulfilling prophecy almost.
Gotcha.
So we kind of just have to send the newt and hope that it's able to communicate its kind of perception of time passing.
Oh, I'm not that concerned. I mean, again, I'll figure that out when I get there. But
Right.
look, as long as the newt's alive, and this is partially why I'm using a newt, because these things these little critters have a life expectancy of about 3 months. So if it's longer than that, I probably don't want to go, or at least I need to be a little bit more circumspect about how I do so. If 3 months and 5 minutes is too long,
Right.
Mind you, Pex here is already a month and a half old, so maybe more like a month and a half. Or if you get a desiccated newt, or if you get a skeleton, there's different levels. We'll see. But you got to do the thing
whatever happens
first.
to the newt, it is knowledge we've
Yeah.
gained.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm okay with this. How are you two feeling?
Let's go.
I-
I think it
yeah.
sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm good.
Right. there's enough food in here for him, even if he lives out the rest of his life in a bowl. That's he was going to anyway. So, he's having a great time, aren't you?
What was the
Aren't you,
newt's
Peck?
name?
Peck.
Peck. Okay, Peck, we're going on an adventure.
Have fun, Peck. See you later. That is canonically how elves talk in my world.
Love it.
Cool. So you head off. You take Peck. Where do you plan to go? How far are you going? Nice knowing you, Peck. Don't be like that. It'll be fine, Shanahars. How dare you? Yeah, where do you go?
Well, I think it would behoove us to pick a direction that we know that hasn't previously had some sort of great magical upheaval in it, and go in that direction.
Yes.
North.
Yeah.
Probably either, well, yeah, basically due north. I would suggest north east towards the mountains.
Cool.
There's not a lot that way. Or,
Hang on a second, my
due north, almost.
laptop's about to die because it's unplugged.
Oh, how helpful.
Yep, let's go that way.
Don't make me roll for poor little Peck. He is fine. Don't worry. It's a preordained conclusion, Shanahas. I won't make you roll for anything. So yeah, cool. You head out into the forest.
I mean, what?
You head into the forest. How far do you go?
Well, he said a mile, so I guess
You go a mile away from the avium, or do you go a little further?
Oh, we don't want to blow up the avium.
No.
I would suggest we go a little further until we find somewhere that's, possibly a clearing in the forest where we're not going to destroy too many trees.
Or splatter them with desiccated newt.
Or desiccated us.
Focusing on the newt possibilities and not the us possibilities.
Very well.
So go a mile and then try and find a suitable clearing or space to set it up.
Amazing. So this is fun. I wrote the description of the device when I first wrote this adventure for the last game you guys played, which was months ago. And I didn't read it overly thoroughly when I was writing the next adventure for today, so that there would be two to choose from. And the thing that I have described is almost exactly the thing I described in my notes. I had the same image in my head when I was like, oh yeah, that thing. Okay, I can imagine that. Yeah, I flipped it, but yes, essentially I've described the same thing twice. Good. I'm good at this. I like my consistency.
That has never happened before.
Cool. So you go out into the middle of the woods. You set the orb down. You travel for, I'd say, 3-4 hours to get a good distance away from everything. You find yourself a nice little clearing. You do, oddly, exactly what Cash and the gang did when they were opening a gateway to the portal of death, to the plane of death. You find a disused patch of forest, and you find a tree, and you just carve a hole in it with a death knife, and you cast a powerful transportation spell on it. Not at all what you guys are doing. So you go out, you set it up, and yeah. What do you do?
How do we activate the thing?
It needs to be charged, basically. Once it's charged, it'll go.
Right. Well, I'll try and hover my hands on either side of it. Like, we'll put Peck in.
Yep.
Give him a little pat on the head. And Aoife's going to try and, like, hold her hands on either side of the machine and basically try and... She doesn't want to touch it because it's really cold. And she doesn't want to get stuck to it and dragged wherever the newt is going.
I did.
That would be fun, though.
And she's going to try and pulse her magic, her enchantment magic specifically.
Yep.
into the machine. She's just going to try.
Absolutely. An evocation check, please, with your magic.
How many dice do I have to roll? Hang on.
This is the number of points you have in evoke.
Oh, 3 evoke.
And your School of Magic makes it 4.
Cool. 4 dicey doos. Load the cannon. What cannon? The one that shoots Peck into the next dimension.
Look.
Thanks, some guys. It's amazing.
It's not. It doesn't not do that.
We have a single success.
That'll do.
For charging.
The copper wires that run across the surface of this green orb. Yeah, I described it as a copper orb. It's actually metallic green, and I'd inversed it. Basically, I had said it was a copper orb with green wires. It's not. It's a green orb with copper wires. Is what I originally wrote, but they're essentially the same thing. And the copper wires begin to glow with the color of Aoife's magic, which, as I recall, was a light purple.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it begins to. You can. It's like you know how you can kind of feel apparently earthquakes. You can't like it's you can it's below it's subsonic hearing, that sort of thing. Yeah, you can sort of feel more than hear the thrumming in the air.
And I'm trying to focus on imbuing this orb with the power to change dimension.
Very well. Aoife has given it a bit of a charge. It needs 3 to get there. What else?
All right. I think, yeah, seeing that Eva has started the whole thing and not really feeling up for charging this potential bomb with death magic, Nico is just going to twitch his glasses a little bit and try to bring any sun motes into this and just encase it.
In life.
Yeah.
Very well.
A light.
No, well, yes, but life is inherently linked to light, life magic. Yeah.
And if it looks like it's starting to become a little bit like unstable that way, he's just gonna try to balance it with the death magic as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what you was recommended, but just sort of give it half and half. Yeah. Cool. Alrighty, an evoke check, please, with your schools of magic. Or just one, but yeah.
Yeah, he'll start with the light ones. So that would be evoke is 3, so that gives me 4. Ooh, that is a 1, 3, 4, and 5.
Ooh.
So I'm going to use. Can I use 3 hubris to make that 2 successes?
Ooh, you can if you like. We still have a rabbit to help as well if you want.
Okay, now I'm gonna use 1 hubris then and make that 1 success.
Very well. Yeah. So, Nico, it's quite difficult to get the balance of the light and the death on this simultaneously. It's, I think, partially because you were trying to have it just be light. You didn't really want to put death into it. Yeah. So you were very reluctant to put death in there, and it was only as it became very clear that you're going to have to balance things out that you are... that.
It's like, shit.
I really didn't want to, but all right, fine. And also, you're feeling the loss of that finger. You're like, oh, that's what I use that one for. It's fine-tuning the death magic.
Oh, shit.
Cool. Rabbit, how do you assist with this? This isn't a major magicka, but it's actually kind of like a major magicka. I'm just treating it not, though.
Yeah.
So Rabbit is going to...
Hey, Cal. I was saying hi to Cal.
Oh, hi, Cal. Rabbit is going to focus his chronomancy on this, trying to... He understands that there might be time dilation, all of that. He's going to focus, trying to stabilize time within this capsule into it while funneling his chronomancy in.
Cool. Love it. Alrighty, yeah. School of Magic plus Evoke.
Yes. So that is 4, I believe.
So far from 8 dice, we've had 1 success. So this is going very well.
I've got 2 5s, a 2, and a 1, so I'm going to
12
something
dice,
terrible.
1 6.
and use 1 hubris to give myself a success.
Thank you very much. Cool. Alrighty. That is 3
Which-
successes.
Brings me
Total.
to 5 hubris of 6.
Excellent. Cool.
And my other dice were like a 1, a 2, and a 3. So
the air, the friction in the air thrumming around this orb increases as Nicodemus wraps it in light and death. And it slowly begins to sort of hover off the ground, shaking a little bit as it rises up into the air. It essentially looks like a tiny little 60s era flying saucer almost, complete with the little landing struts underneath it, sort of floating a little bit wobbly in the air, and then Rabbit binds his chronomancy onto it, and it's not that it stopped shaking, it's just because it's going a lot slower. The shaking has slowed down quite a bit, so it's not shaking quite as badly to you guys. And then with a somewhat anticlimactic pop, it pops out of existence.
Well, we didn't want to rattle Newt.
No. No, Peck's...
right. Well, hopefully Peck is still alive.
Oh, I hope so.
Now, watches are a thing, and I feel like Rabbit would probably have a timekeeping method on his person. You were told 5 minutes.
He's got so many hourglasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
You
was
were
what I
told-
was going to say. It's like, no, he's just got a set of hourglasses and he just whips out a 5-minute one and just...
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. For some
Love
reason, the sand inside it is bright blue. Don't ask. But he grabs it. He flips it over. All his hourglasses are color coded for time.
Sensible.
that's smart. I
So
like
yeah,
that.
blue is 5 minutes, and he flips it over, and he will just sit there doodling with any sand in the ground, sort of twirling it around while he watches the hourglass.
I suppose my question is, what do you guys do for the next 5 minutes? Do you take up a safe position? Do you... Yeah, like, what do you do?
Aoife's going to get out her sling and her bag of pebbles, and she's going to basically do some practice with it at a nearby tree. But to give it some extra spice, she's going to try and transmute each pebble before it hits the tree. So, turn it into something, she turns one into a cherry tomato, one into water, one into... I don't know.
Nicodemus is gonna
Sand.
find a
It's
large.
just this ploops of different things hitting the tree, hopefully.
Yes. Seeing that, Nico is going to find the largest boulder or sturdy tree stump he can find, slip in behind it, and basically write down everything he has learned about this very strange servant figure talking about various weird realms and peoples he has never heard of. And after the 2 minutes it probably takes him to do that in shorthand, he's going to try and hit Aoife's projectiles with just streams of light from his glasses, just trying to not evaporate, but mark them with concentrated sunlight as
Yeah.
they pass by.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Alrighty. Well, at exactly on the 5-minute mark, just as the sand trickles out of the blue, just the blue sand trickles out of the time turner. Pardon me. The device reappears, or a device reappears. It is about 10 times the size.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
But it is it looks exactly the same. It's just a lot bigger. It pops back into existence. The pop that it does. So it would have popped out, and its reappearance as a crack, like a thunderclap, and it cracks and then drops about 2 feet to the ground with a thud. The legs kind of dig into the sand a little bit. Oh yeah.
I was going to say, seeing it about to drop could, because there's something alive in there probably. Could Rabbit try and manipulate time to make it slowful, so as it doesn't kill the occupant?
It's only about 2 feet, but yes, you can. It wouldn't. You would slow it down. It doesn't change the force that the person inside receives. It just slows down for you how long it takes to drop.
Ah, right. So no.
You're not making it weightless. You're just.
That's true. So no, you won't try that.
But also, it's only 2 feet. You
Yes.
know, you can drop a newt 2 feet, and it probably won't hurt it too badly.
No.
Oh God, how big is the newt going to be?
I'm gonna have a new mount.
Yeah, it lands, and where before it was cold, you can tell now it is absolutely freezing. The ground around the struts instantly sort of ices over.
Right.
Oh, that's a problem.
Peck? Peck, you alive in there?
Heck?
It might be. It never responded to the name Peck before, or any name, or it never responded because it's a newt. But so if it is,
right. Okay. I'm gonna kind of wrap my hand up in my robe to protect it and try and open the orb.
you could maybe try and magic it open. There is a sort of a latch.
Oh right, yes, that's amazing. I'm going to try and magically open the orb so I don't have to touch it when it's really fucking cold.
Alternatively, we get a
Quill.
stick.
Book.
So Nicodemus is taking frantic notes
Yeah,
as
it's like-
Aoife approaches this and Mage hands the thing open.
Do I need rules?
No. You're a wizard. It's a cantrip. You can just do it.
Okay.
You flick the the catch, and the lid, where before like the old one, it opened to about 90 degrees, so you could put the jar he was in was designed to fit inside it really neatly. So yeah, inside should be a large glass orb containing theoretically an enormous fucking newt. You open the lid, and it creaks open. The hinges apparently frozen almost solid, but it does it's spring loaded, so it does come open. And steam, I think, rises from. Oh, no, not steam. No, it's actually an inrush of air. The rushed is in so fast that it chills rapidly, and it sort of sucks fog inside it as it opens, like a negative pressure. That is what you can see. The glass inside would appear to be broken.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Can I use my mage hand to reach in and try and grab the newt? Should it be in there?
As you do that, emerging from within is a massive creature with a glossy black carapace, 4 limbs, and a long, sinuous tail. Its head is strangely elongated, and it lacks for eyes, though it clearly is looking right at you, Aoife. As your mage hand, I've always said you could have a haptic feedback through the mage hand, so you could tell when it touches something, and your mage hand strikes something really quite firm, and it rises up out of it. Its jowls sort of pull back across glassy, almost translucent teeth. And I think we'll take a short break there.
Oh,
What the hell's that?
Josh! Josh, is that a xenomorph?
No!
Yes,
Now that would be hilarious if it was.
that is the xenomorph.
It is very similar to what I described. I don't know if that's... Anyway, we will go for a short little breaklet there. Be back in 5 to 10, everybody. Oh, now it is on.
Yes.
Here we go. Oh, no, it is. Yeah, here we go. Going to be back in 5 to 10. See you. Goodbye, everybody.
Suddenly everything smells like pure white jelly.
Vast and ahoy, mateys. We'll be back for a little bit more Humblewood and a little bit more pseudo-xenomorph situation, maybe. I don't know, not a doctor. It genuinely wasn't why I put Newt in there. Or if it was, I don't remember doing it on purpose. Yeah, that is funny. Hey, I didn't, do that on purpose. Yes. Something that looks upsettingly like a xenomorph has just stuck its head out of this container that may or may not still contain a newt. And it's sort of raising its hackles back. Dribble is coming in off its glassy, crystalline teeth. Aoife is close enough to cast Mage Hand and look inside, so probably relatively close. What do y'all do?
I just had an image in my head of a newt on top of the head of a xenomorph going, hi.
Southern Sky. Fireball. All the fireballs. Shanahos. A new T. T for thing. Yes, a new thing. The newt got better.
Oh, God. Rabbit should not be allowed to have thoughts. I don't think Rabbit has thoughts. Because his first instinct is to try and ride it.
Okay.
Like, literally jump on the back, hold on to the banana end of the head for dear life and try and manipulate the thing.
Okay.
This is not a good idea.
You've jumped in first. Make me a sprint check.
How is sprint?
Shift.
Shift.
Rabbit, where are you? He has no shift, so this is going to be at disadvantage.
Excellent. I could see you using your chronomancy to slow it down a little bit for your own self to make it easier, so you could have 1 dice in it.
Okay, I will do that. That is a 5.
Ooh. I love that if you use a hubris, you will become unstable.
I'm gonna do it.
You will successfully do this. However, you will become unstable. And I think we need to roll for that instability right fucking now. Just to see. Seeing as you're doing something absurdly dangerous right this fucking second.
Okay. What do I roll?
Nico's
It's a
just gonna
D6.
shift his glasses, like in anime when the glasses guy is seeing something completely dumb and just...
A D6, you said?
I believe so.
Okay. Oh shit, that is a 6.
A 6. Okay.
I am terrified.
And this is this is track number 3, isn't it? Your third
Yes.
instability. Oh no.
No, Shannon, this is mechanically unstable. We are all
Yeah.
unstable at all times, but this is mechanically.
Oh no.
I love that.
I'm concerned. Am I dead?
No. Far from it.
Have I fused with it?
No. I'm trying to, just give me a minute, trying to figure out how to make this work. It works very well because you're a chronomancer. So, Rabbit's outline blurs, and where one of him seems to stand where he is, locked in fear, another one dashes forwards and attempts to ride the xenomorph. Rabbit, you leap onto the xenomorph. From your perspective, you are the one that ran. Yeah, I think this is what happens. Oh my god. Okay. Rabbit leaps onto the back of the xenomorph. Its back is covered in... They're actually heat sinks. The little funnels on the back of the creatures. They're actually... Because they have a very high internal temperature, so it's actually a method for it to disperse heat. So as you jump onto them, you discover they're really quite warm. They're very actually hot to touch, which is weird given how cold the entire rest of the thing is. And yeah, the rest of the carapace, however, is achingly cold. It's only these spikes on the back that are anyway warm at all. Ice is shifting from its back. It's covered in sort of a semi-ice jelly. Like gooey ice, essentially, along a large amount of its carapace. The only place where this is really starting to melt so far is around its mouth and it's along its back, along these trumpets. But you grab onto a couple of these, and they're just warm enough that you don't manage to injure yourself while you're doing it. And it rears back and sort of screeches, its arms spread wide, its absurdly unpleasantly long fingers sort of scraping at the air. Meanwhile, a second rabbit stares on in terror and says, I don't think he should be doing that. No. No. That's a very bad idea. Aoife, Nicodemus, what do you do? The level 3 instability you got, Terris, was a second you with an opposite agenda appears.
I will put that in my thing.
Nice.
It may not be relevant for long.
Nicodemus, like
You're muted, my love.
instinctually.
Not you.
That explains a lot.
There you go.
Yeah. No, Nicodemus is like instinctually scribbling that weird shorthand that no one, barely him, can actually read it. And then as the definitely not a alien crawls out of this thing, Rabbit is trying to write it. Nicodemus will just shriek and just throw the quill at it.
Okay, yep.
And then, like, what even is that? That's not a newt. That's definitely not.
Angry.
Not a newt.
Not anymore. Definitely not a newt. No. No.
Okay.
I don't know what to
Aoife?
do with it.
Nicodemus, throwing the thing.
Yeah.
Is your intent to hit it with the quill?
I think it's more of a he was writing and it showed up and he just basically went.
Yeah. The instinctive aunt seeing a mouse on the floor happens to be holding a spatula at the time.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah. That was a very specific reference to a conversation we were having just before. It wasn't.
Yes.
I wasn't making a blanket statement about aunts not liking mice.
Yeah, no. That was break conversation.
Aoife, what do you do?
I would like to shift the earth beneath this creature.
It is still standing in the orb.
Well, then I would like to shift the earth beneath this orb to drop it into a pit from which it hopefully cannot escape.
Very well. Make me an evoke with your... This is transmutation, I imagine you're trying to sort of transmute
Yes,
the earth into air.
Yeah. Or at
Very
least
cool.
replace
Love
its
it.
space with air.
Yeah.
That is 2 successes!
Nice. I was going to say it was going to require more than one to make a hole big enough to take the entire thing, but you do. And the pit you make is comfortably 20 feet deep and wide enough that both the creature, both the orb itself and the creature within it, drop down. Aoife's quick reactions drop down this thing into this pit. Basically, you have taken a 20-foot perfect cylinder out of the ground and instantly transmutated all of it into air. So there's this massive rush of air, and because it is very, it would be if you're turning that number of atoms of one thing into that number of atoms of a much less dense substance, there would be a massive burst of excess air. So you have aerosolized a huge amount of dirt simultaneously in a massive wash back from you. Aoife, you are blown backwards. Nicodemus and the other rabbit are all sort of knocked from your feet as Rabbit, clutching onto the back of this giant black creature, drops down into this pit. Rabbit, what do you do? You are holding onto the back of this creature for dear life.
He is going to try to use not chronomancy, silicomancy to encase its head, the front of its head, in glass, like thick glass.
Very well. Make me an evoke check.
Evoke and silica, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So that would be 4 d6s. Yep. Whoops, wrong thing. I got 1 success.
Very well. You basically encase. So the sand from you draw sand from the wall of this pit, and it sort of flutters over to this creature's face, forming this glass shield around it. Essentially, is that the idea?
Yes, trying to make some of its dangerous bits less dangerous.
Very well. Can you please make me a sprint check? I will allow you to use chronomancy for it, so you do get the 1.
Okay. Where's my dice roller? There it is.
No, shift. Sorry, shift check. Not...
That's a 5, so I am going to take another point of hubris for that.
You do.
Unless I can use resistance. I'm not sure if I can use resistance.
You can use resistance. Yeah. Absolutely.
How does resistance work again?
You just burn it and you automatically succeed.
Okay, yep, I'll just use the resistance, because if I get much more
unstable, you'll die.
Unstable, I'll die.
Yeah.
Yes.
We gain resistance?
You have 4. I think you have as many charges of it as you have skills in a certain thing. So if you have... There are 4 abilities. If you have points in each one, you have 4 points of resistance. If you only have points in 2, you have 2 points of resistance.
Right.
You can recharge that by talking to the cosmos, which is what Rabbit did at the beginning of the session.
Right. I asked, and then I was like, I'm pretty sure I know what the answer is. I just chose to get rid of my haunting visions of the future instead of getting some resistance back.
I'm not sure how much of it you've spent. I don't keep track of this for you.
I'm almost out.
All right. Getting rid of your haunting visions of the future was probably not the worst thing to do. Can you stop shouting, please? What do you want? Do you want to hop up? Come on, up you get. Being silly. Rabbit, you manage to dodge as this creature tries to wrap its tail around your neck. It does, however, reach up to the glass you've wrapped on its face and tries to and basically tears it, breaks it off. You see it rip its jaw open, and a second smaller set of jaws lances out, just shattering the glass you built around its mouth. I'm going to throw this over to Nicodemus and Aoife. What do you do?
So are we taking this out, or are we trying to preserve it?
I don't know if it looks very safe. The stupid me is it looks really it looks like maybe we should, I think. And other Rabbit is going to reach out and, using his silicomancy, attempts to bury the entire thing.
All right.
Oh, shit.
Well, if we're taking it out,
Rabbit,
don't want
that
to do
rabbit, get out of the hole. We're gonna try and bury it.
I have rolled on behalf of the second rabbit 4 dice because evoke plus silicomancy, and I got 1/6.
Nice.
It has began. So he holds out his hands, and the earth begins to close in around this thing. He is burying this. He is absolutely terrified, and making nowhere near as potentially bad choices as Rabbit was.
Well, here is hoping I don't hit Rabbit. I don't want to do this. And you see Nicodemus, without even, normally when he casts, he will fidget with his glasses. This time he just puts both tiny paws out, the four-fingered one on top, and you see this spark between his paws as he just twists his hands around, and a tiny little mote of, for lack of a better word, anti-light just flicks forward towards this thing, and he's going to try and as it approaches, you're trying to bury it, you see shadows from where the dirt is covering just reach up towards his head and just grasp onto it, as he's going to try and use death magic to kill it.
Very well.
Ooh.
It's threatening one of his friends.
I like that. Yeah, cool. You do that. Make me the evoke plus your death magic. Oof.
Okay, so that is 1 success. That's 1/6.
You from within you managed to do this, and you're these little creeping tendrils of I'm actually going to roll for this. Yeah, creeping tendrils of death magic, like your hands, one with 5 little tendrils sticking off it, one with only 4, wrap around this creature, and it is clearly struggling. Its tail is lashing around, keeps trying to spear the little fennec fox who is sitting astride its back. As from this angle looking down, Nicodemus, you can see that a good portion of the fog that was within the pod before has dispersed, and around its feet is a large quantity of green muck. It's almost up to its ankles in this sort of slime substance, and as your magic sort of rears up from it, it almost seems to be sucked into this muck. However, a single orb of it remains sort of held against the creature's chest, and you can hear this sort of hissing noise of glass being the cracking, splintering noise of when you superheat glass and then chill it really fast. That's sort of the noise you're getting from it as it roars in pain for the very first time. You've definitely hurt it. Aoife.
I am going to grab a vine, and I basically want to try and almost whip it into the hole, because I'm trying to get it to wrap around Rabbit Alpha, so I can hoink him out of the hole before Rabbit Beta fills the hole full of sand.
Yeah. Please make me so that would this be this be enchantment, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to give the vine the ability to grab onto
like property. Yep, absolutely. You do that. Make the check.
Come on, babies. Let's save idiot Rabbit from himself. 1 success.
Very well. Yeah, you managed to wrap the vine around with one success, I'm going to make this a check. Terris,
Yes.
can you roll me a single d6? It's not a hubris thing or anything. I'm just gonna I have a list of body parts in my head, and this will determine where the vine wraps around.
That is a 1, sir.
Feet, fantastic. So this wraps around Rabbit's feet, both of them. And Rabbit immediately sort of loses his balance. However, Aoife, you do now have him on a line.
Cool. I'm basically going to run away from the hole and try and haul him out.
Very well. Rabbit, I'm going to turn this over to you, and then it is the creature's turn. You are being... Aoife, you're going to have to do that on your neck. So, this has just happened. Aoife is getting ready to start pulling away. She's not a super strong girl, though. So, Rabbit, someone has just... Well, a vine has just wrapped around both of your feet, tying them together while you are sitting astride this thing, its tail whipping at you. What do you do as you have fallen into this pit?
He's going to let this happen. He's going to let, he's not going to struggle against being yanked away. But what he's going to do is he's going to try and distract the creature by using silicomancy to fill its vents with sand.
Ooh, okay. Yes, do that. Make the roll.
Yes, that's 4. Let's see. And make the roll. That is 2 successes. I got a 1 and a 6 and a 1 and a 6.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, the sand just starts flying into these little cracks and vents in its back, and it squeals in pain as you are sort of filling these things up. The sand around you, the area is already beginning to rise. One edge of it it's almost like a cliff is layering over you, as the other you is trying to bury this thing, and it doesn't seem to care much that you are still in the hole.
Can you quit it?
And you can just hear the no, must go, must bury, cannot have. And you you have absolutely displeased it. Aoife, you managed to haul other Rabbit out of the hole. Rabbit Alpha out of the hole, just as the screeching reaches its zenith. Nicodemus, you see Rabbit pulled up over the edge. You run over and assist Aoife, just dragging him out. And just as you get him up to the edge, you unlash its feet. The other Rabbit is very much intent on continuing his action, and Rabbit sort of stands brushing himself off.
Sort of shaking like a dog, probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like that.
The other you walks over as the hole almost closes. The hole is almost completely closed in now, but he sees you getting out and sort of seems to relax a little bit, and walks over going, "Why did you do that? That was so ridiculous. It was so silly, and why are there 2 of us?"
I don't know. And I don't know why I did it either. I thought it was pretty stupid too, honestly.
Well, if it had succeeded, I do apologize. If it had succeeded, it could have been a great discovery. Where is the newt?
Rabbit.
I didn't see it.
Rabbit. Terris, please make me. No, I'm going to do this myself. Pick
Okay.
highs or lows.
Whoa.
Highs.
Okay. Highs. Oh!
Balls.
Ouch.
As you stand looking at this replica of yourself, you turn to him. I don't know. I just thought it seemed like a good idea, and then a black spike erupts from Rabbit's chest.
You bishoped him. Oh, shit.
Which one? Rabbit 1 or Rabbit 2?
Rabbit Alpha.
No!
Oh no.
And the copy goes, "What? No, not what? How? No. We can't. That mustn't." And what do you guys do? A person who isn't Rabbit can see the tail extending from the hole in the ground, forcing its way out from basically this little tunnel is the creature.
I would like to turn one of my pebbles into a tiny little blade, and I want to, like, shoot it at the tail to try and slice through it.
You do that. Make a transmutation evoke check. Rabbit, I am going to turn over the control of both of these rabbits to you.
2 successes. Yes. Now we're cooking with gas. Do I slice its tail off?
You successfully slice its tail off, at just where it meets Rabbit's back. The tail flicks away, the creature screaming, and little yellow gobbets of blood squirt from the end of it. Aoife and Nicodemus, and Rabbit as well, please make shift checks to dodge the acidic blood.
Oh, okay, that is...
Would that be a straight with chronomancy?
I reckon you instinctively use chronomancy to try and help with that.
Oh.
Nope, I do not dodge.
I rolled a 1 and a 6.
I'm gonna use a resistance because I have full.
I'm assuming this is Rabbit Beta that is rolling.
Yes, it would be Rabbit Beta.
'Cause I rolled
Rabbit
a
Alpha is not
1.
able to dodge. Okay.
Yes, he rolled a
I get
4,
one die.
so he is not.
But I'm
Rabbit-
gonna use a resistance for that.
So Rabbit Beta, I want to be very clear, has no hubris track at all filled.
Oh, okay. Then I will spend 2 hubris on Rabbit Beta.
Very well. Rabbit Beta is at 2 levels of instability. And
Okay, let me.
the same 2 levels of instability as other Rabbit, but has no full instability tracks. No full hubris. No hubris track at all on the 3rd.
Okay, I'll just
yeah.
make a note of that. I've got a spare sheet. I'll just.
Ducks
hubris.
underneath. And yeah. So all 3 of you managed to dodge underneath. However, Nicodemus, something weird happens when you do it,
Yes.
because you resisted it. You managed to dodge most of the splatters. The only one that you don't happens to form exactly the shape of one of the runes that is currently on your face, and hits that just a little bit, and just sears that one rune stops moving and is now permanent.
Nice.
But not an injury. It's just a
Yeah.
The rune sort of shines very brightly. You can see it in the reflection from your glasses on your cheek.
Yeah.
There is now a single rune that isn't moving.
You know what's funny there, Josh? And I don't know how much you know about the Aliens and Predator films.
Yeah.
But when a Predator
Yes.
bags an
Yes.
alien, they do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a T-shape.
Yeah.
The rune. It's actually, I think it's a pie. It's almost the same
Nice.
shape, but there's 2 lines. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I now have a tattoo. Okay. Dodge on just ow.
You've got a brand.
Ah. Oh, that's gonna get
No,
annoying.
I want to be clear. The rune protected you. The rune stopped any injury,
Yeah.
but it's now permanent.
No, but like the light glare is like
Yeah.
That's no.
You took the end of the tail off. This creature has still got Nicodemus's death ball sucking into its chest.
Yeah.
Rabbit Nicodemus, what do you do?
So
Rabbit
Nicodemus, you go
Beta
first.
Nicodemus. Rabbit Alpha isn't really up to much. He's still technically alive, but like not for long.
Yep. Nicodemus, why don't you go first?
so my idea, and this might be a huge deal, is that because Nicodemus has that balance, technically he is an illusionist, but since light and life is basically same here.
Light
what
is
I want to
Ardea,
do-
and she is life aligned. Is the
Yeah.
trick? Because that's where it's coming from. Yeah.
So what I would like to do, you can tell me if this is way too much, is with those tendrils in the absolutely not a xenomorph. Nicodemus would like to take that energy and push it to Rabbit.
Oh, the
Basically,
life.
like siphoning life from the
Oh.
xenomorph to Rabbit.
Oh.
I would gladly take an instability for that. That's not a problem.
Okay, so what I would... Saving Rabbit will be a major magicka.
Yeah.
He's dying, and he's still got a big spear through his chest. He's got moments. I love this plan. Evoke check with your life magic, or for definite.
I'm going to. I got 2 1s, a 2, and a 3.
Oof.
But I did reset my hubris track on that.
I'm gonna burn 3 hubris to succeed on that.
Very well. You managed to
puts me at
start
5.
siphoning the
Yeah.
life force of this creature from it into Rabbit. Rabbit, you feel this. There is a visible connection. It's, if you don't mind, Nicodemus, I think what it looks like is Nicodemus with his four-fingered hand lashes out a sort of tendril of black magic from one arm, and then lashes Rabbit with a tendril of almost pure white magic, and it just sort of acts as a conduit. The black magic links to the pearl of blackness in the core of the center of this creature's chest, as you begin to just wrench its own life force out of it.
Yeah. So basically, how I imagine it is that this tiny little guy, he's an elephant shrew. He's tiny. Basically, just shoots out first the one that is already connected, and then the other one towards Rabbit, and his eyes that are usually like this pale brown just goes gray with the mingling of the two.
Ooh.
No pupils or irises or anything, just gray.
Awesome.
As he is basically just siphoning this energy through.
Aoife, in your mind, your Aoife's eyes flash golden. And in your mind, you hear a single word. Dragon!
Wait, that's a dragon?
Dragon?
Is it a dragon? What I can see, is it a dragon, that thing?
Strange dragon.
Okay, maybe not a dragon.
She's not sure. She was asking you.
Oh, I don't know! Might have killed Rabbit.
So yeah, that sort of that interaction happens sort of very quickly in your head, and Rabbit, you feel your life force at once leaking out of you, and at the same time a different, colder, darker one replacing it. What do you do?
Rabbit Alpha?
Both of them.
Rabbit Alpha is... I don't think he's in a place to really accept or reject this. I think this is a passive thing for him. He is on the brink. He is trying to hold on. And he is going to use the last of his chronomancy, basically, the last of his energy as he's been feeling himself ebb away, to try and hold on, to try and slow himself down enough to get through whatever is happening here. And
I want to say Rabbit Beta goes, no. More. We need to go, we don't need to go slow, we need to go backwards.
Backwards. And Rabbit Alpha will just go, okay. And he'll do that.
The two of them together do this.
Yes. Right.
So it would be 2 sets of evoke, but only 1 magic. It is the same magic.
So I will roll 3 dice on one.
And 4 on the other.
Yep. 3 dice.
They are functionally the same character, but double the power right now.
Yep. That is a 5 on Alpha. He will take 1 hubris. To succeed. Where are we? Back to Rabbit. 1 hubris to succeed. And then 4 on Beta, who is more in control right now.
Not
that
much.
is 1 success on him.
The two of you, it is a lot.
How many successes are we up to now?
That's 3.
Okay.
If we were treating this as a major magicka.
Yeah.
That's 3. The two of them hold hands, looking across each other, the spear lancing through Rabbit Alpha's chest, almost touching the tip of Rabbit Beta's. And they just sort of stare into each other's eyes, and time around them almost seems to stop. They come to an almost complete stop, but it doesn't look like they've managed to reverse things yet. Aoife.
Trying to.
Aoife, your eyes once again glitter gold. Mama says astral. Starplane.
Oh. Well, that's not right. Well, that's not right at all.
Bad.
No shit.
You're talking to a 3-month-old.
Yeah, I know. I think I want to kind of I want to change the barb of the spear that's still in Rabbit. I want to turn it into water so it'll just flow out of them. Because if I yank it out, it might do more damage.
It definitely would. It's serrated. Yeah.
So basically,
Ooh.
I want to liquefy it so it'll just...
Very well. Make me a transmutation check.
I got 2, 3, 4, 5, which is bullshit. So I suppose, like, if I burned a point of hubris, that would make it a 6, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do that then. To get a single success to hopefully melt the barb
You do that.
harmlessly out of.
Yeah. The creature is somewhat trapped and restrained by what Nicodemus is doing to it as Aoife transmutes the nasty leaking barb sticking through Rabbit, and want to say it's definitely, I would say that Rabbit is the catalyst in this instance. And yeah, Rabbit, you and your brother are holding this at bay. You can feel the magic flowing into you, but it's not a very nice magic. You can feel the injury being, the cause of the injury going is helping with the, is helping it to, is assisting in making it go backwards.
Yeah.
The danger here is if you go very far back at all, Rabbit Beta, you'll go further back than Rabbit Beta has existed.
Yes.
And Rabbit Beta isn't sure if he wants to, if he's prepared to give his life for you, basically.
And
He only existed from like a minute ago.
But he
Here's the rub.
he has objectives counter to Rabbit.
And here's the rub. That is a person.
Rabbit wouldn't want him to.
No.
Hmm.
That is a person. And Rabbit was told that it's a very good chance that he might be able to get to see what he wanted to see. He's not sure that this isn't it. If he were to let go, he goes somewhere else, doesn't he?
Rabbit, make me a ponder check. Rabbit Alpha.
He has 2 ponder, so that's not
And
bad.
with chronomancy.
Okay. 3 ponder. 3 dice. That is 1 success.
You and this other rabbit, you are the original. He is the copy.
Mm-hmm.
He is... You could, if you hadn't been injured, you both could have existed. But you share a life force.
Right.
One of you could give him all of yours, or he could give you all of his. You could make him whole, or he could use his to cure you.
Rabbit doesn't want him to. Rabbit Alpha doesn't want him to.
So
Rabbit
yeah.
is going to, I think, pull back at this point. He's got this gaping wound in his chest. He's going to equal parts pull back and push Beta away and say, look after them. I've got places to be.
No.
No!
Go then. Find out.
I will.
And Rabbit Beta steps back and says, go, brother. And rolls Rolls a success. As he slows you down further. He steps out of the sphere, and now that it's not slowing down both of you, it's just slowing down one of you, he manages to reverse you.
No.
He reverses you so far, you cross a horizon, and you are somewhere else.
Ooh.
And Rabbit turns to Aoife and Nicodemus and goes, well, that was horrible. I don't think I should ever ride a newt again. And Nicodemus, you, with one last wrench, pull the remaining life force out of this creature. Its chest implodes, and in its center, in its core, there is now this sucking hole which it gets dragged into a piece at a time as it, piece by piece, gets sucked within and finally is yanked away from this plane into death itself.
Excellent.
And Rabbit, you are now Rabbit Beta.
Okay. So I remove the twinning. And...
You are, you're not twinned anymore. This has probably, I allow it, I leave it to the player to decide, but this will definitely have an effect on the personality of the character going forward. I feel like the primary difference is this one is a little bit more cautious.
Yes.
That's not a bad thing.
No.
Nicodemus is gonna basically put both hands together in front of him, adjust his glasses a little bit, take a deep breath, walk back around that stump, and just hurl up everything he's eaten that day.
Yeah. First time you've ever used your magic to kill something, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's just... Well, technically he has helped kill zombies.
Yeah.
But they were already dead.
Already dead. Yeah.
This is... He actively chose to kill something. And it's just...
Yeah.
Not like that at all. I just...
Aoife would like to dig up the orb and
Aoife-
check if there's a newt in it.
There is...
Rabbit Beta
Sorry.
would probably help undo the
between the
digging,
silicomancy
the
and the transmutation. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. Silicomancy is actually almost ideal for it because it just sort of shuffles it back up again. Everything else within the orb, you look inside. Make me a ponder, I think. Check, Aoife. And seeing as Rabbit's helping, you can have another dice from Rabbit.
1 success.
The goo inside, you have a look in, experimentally, very gingerly, but experimentally, you use a tip of that vine that you'd ensorcelled before and dip it in to the goo. And as soon as you do, the goo, as soon as the vine pretty much touches the goo, it begins to writhe on its own. Lifting the end out, it has gone shiny and black. It has suckers starting to form along it, and it's trying to grasp at, like, it's just exploring the air. But as you hold the vine, you're holding it a good distance up, this seems to spread up the vine.
Cool. Kill it with fire, please.
I don't have fire.
I mean, you're a wizard. You can make fire. You just don't. You're just not especially good at it. You can all wizards can cast fireball. You just haven't prepared it today.
So
Yeah,
there's a pit, right? Like we moved the sand out. There's a pit.
Yeah.
So
Throw it in.
why don't we
Throw
all
it in.
just Yeah, why don't we all just fireball into the pit?
So yeah, throw it back in the pit, fire in the pit.
Burn it with fire. So, yeah, Nicodemus is still vomiting, but Rabbit and Eva make an impromptu bonfire in a 20-foot deep pit with a single liana thrown into the bottom that is turning into this nasty black pseudopody thing. Eva, the question you are trying to determine is whether or not there was a newt in there. The green stuff probably, but not definitely, turned the newt into the thing you fought.
Cool.
It has some nasty transmutative properties.
I'm going to propose that we fill in this hole and we put some kind of marker on it, and then we go back and we tell Professor, finding his name. Noctua. We tell Professor Noctua that his device brought a creature back from hell, and we had to dispatch it and then burn its remains so it wouldn't emerge and kill us all. And if he wants to try this out again, he can do it him damn self.
What? Go ahead.
If we have a vocal cords fried by acid. If we have a bottle or a container or something, we could take some of that goo. So this isn't a complete wash.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, I don't think anything should touch that goo. Especially since we just burned the ever-loving crap out of it.
Oh, you didn't put the goo in, unless you did.
Wasn't the goo in the hole, or...?
I thought you were just burning the vine.
Alright, I threw it in the hole. So, is the goo in the hole?
The goo is still in the orb.
Which is close orb. We take orb with us. I'm gonna go throw up again.
So the goo is sitting in the cracked remains of the bottom half of the glass jar that the newt was in. It's now much, much larger.
Look, if we're going to take it anywhere, I'm going to insist that we seal it up so nothing can accidentally get gooed.
I think I can do that, Aoife. Yes. And he's going to try to encase the entire thing in glass, basically.
Yeah, basically rebuild the glass. Yeah, love it. Does so. Competent Silicomancer does so. Competent and sensible. Cool, you do that. It is now probably... where it was about the size of a basketball, now it is the size of a mini miner. So yeah, it's nowhere near as portable as it was before. How do you go about transporting the darn thing?
Roll it?
I think,
on wheel. It's got legs, so it wouldn't roll super easy.
Could we levitate it?
Yeah?
Yeah, probably.
Yes, probably.
Not my area of specialty, though.
Or you could no, I'm not here to provide you with ideas. You could levitate it. Yeah.
I could make a sand bed for it and move the sand along, I suppose.
If you think that would be safe enough, it's not going to crack. I mean, I can help with that.
Yeah, between the two of you.
I was thinking sort of like almost like a portable sand dune kind of situation.
Oh yes, that'll work. We can kind of ripple it.
Yes.
We can ripple the sand and move the orb along with it.
Yes, that yes, that was my yes.
You do that. With Aoife's help, Rabbit, can you please make me an evoke with Silicomancy? So 5 dice, I think. You're getting Aoife's help.
That is correct. 5 dice. One of these had better be a 6.
Come on, you can do it.
I got 2 successes. Woo.
Woo.
2 successes. It works surprisingly well. Aoife's assistance is to give the the legs, she basically transmutes the feet to be wider and flatter, like sand shoes, so that it can stand on the sand very well as you sort of ripple the sand along underneath it. And discovering that, you also then Nicodemus finds a large flat piece of wood, and the three of you just sit on the piece of wood and just travel along behind it, sort of skating along on this ripple of sand. Yeah, exactly. And you get back to the avium in under an hour after a terrifying near-death, actual death experience.
That was much faster. We should do that next time we have to head out into the sticks.
I can manage that.
So we don't normally do a debrief with the professor in question, but what do you do? What do you say to the professor when you get back?
Well, I think we'd have to summon him outside, because I don't think we can get the car-sized orb into...
Oh, wow, that was quick. Good on you. Fuck me, where did that come from? That's huge.
Well, it's technically the same thing.
Yes.
But something clearly happened to it on the other side, because it came back and there was no note. There was a giant black slimy crocodile dragon thing, and suddenly there were two rabbits, and it stabbed one of them with his tail, and that one died or disappeared or something.
He's gone on.
And then we buried it in a hole, and that seemed to do it. And then there was this goop left that's in there, and I touched it with a vine, and the vine started turning into a nasty tentacle thing, so I burnt it with fire. And then Rabbit kind of sealed the orb up so we couldn't just splatter goo everywhere, and then we rolled it back here.
Yeah. I sorry, still...
Megan. Oh, and Nico threw up a few times because it was pretty disgusting.
No, that's... Well, unless you count actually putting zombies back down again into the ground, that was the first thing I've ever killed. So I'm gonna go and probably feel bad for a while.
Definitely self-defense. That thing was murderous.
Right.
Yes.
Would
Barris!
What?
Oh, and the dragon in my head said it might be from the celestial plane, which I'm assuming is not
Astral
where
plane?
you wanted to go.
Yeah, the astral plane.
Astral plane, sorry, astral plane.
Oh, no. All right. Yeah, no. Look, it's a step closer, but I don't know how it would have quadrupled in size and gotten filled with transformative goo, and until we get a better idea of exactly why that happened. Peck, it didn't make it.
Well, unless he was the goo.
No, Peck was the creature. It got
So if I may
changed.
suggest, Professor, it feels it might be safer to just talk to the dragon
Yes.
through the mirror.
Okay, yeah, look, I'll ask her. Yeah, that
idea.
does sound like a valid idea. Yeah.
No more.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
no, please, no.
Go and see. Oh, don't worry. I'll deal with it. You guys have obviously had a day. Well, look, a solid extra credit for all of you, I think. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you for testing it, and it sounds like you behaved extremely professionally and dealt with it in exactly the correct manner. And I'm. So
Putting
you
it
said
in
there
a
was
big
two
hole.
rabbits for a while.
Yes, is this
Where's
a
the
real
other-
rabbit? Is this no offense, rabbit? Is it an actual, is it still our friend Rabbit? Or is it some sort of cursed copy of him?
And correct me if I'm wrong, Josh. I have the same memories.
You have all the same memories.
We shared everything up until the split. I remember you all, but I am not the original.
Aoife's gonna kind of reach out and just kind of poke Rabbit on the tip of his nose. Just
Oh! This could be an interesting experiment, though, or just some research. You know, this is a book I read long ago, maybe 3 months ago, about this this ship. I don't remember the guy who built it, but he basically said if you replace all the planks of a boat, is it still the same boat?
Oh, yeah. That was we've got a similar one from Theros. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it still the same guy, even if it's all the same, if it's different parts? It's my father's axe. It's great-grandfather's axe is the same premise, yeah.
Exactly.
It's like my father replaced the handle, and then I replaced the head. Is it the same axe?
Yeah.
From my experience, yes, because it's what you care about, isn't it?
Exactly. So, from what I can see, Rabbit is still here, even though for a moment there was 2 rabbits, and the original rabbit was horribly murdered by a thing from the astral realm. We still have Rabbit.
Horribly murdered. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I tried to fix that, and that's kind of what it died of, and... sorry, I'm just gonna go and have an existential crisis over here.
I reckon you should both go and talk to Professor Hartwell. Isn't really my area. I'll organise to make sure that nasty goo is sequestered away and experimented on, if ever, very, very cautiously.
Yes.
Great job. Good job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
At which point, Professor Varus, who is a Mapatch with sort of one of those sets of goggles with loads and loads of lenses that are like on an aperture sort of thing, comes up and goes like, "The hell did he do? Why is it so big? Of course it doesn't work if it's big. I told you it has to be small." And they go off together, sort of arguing about the things, and he reports, or you hear him reporting, and he goes like, "Oh no! What? Well, at least it's got a lot more half-a-sight. It's worth more." As the three of you...
we made it more valuable. It only cost us our friends' lives and possibly Nico's sanity.
Oh, Nico.
Rabbit.
Yes.
You are the catalyst, so you gain an instability.
Understood.
Can you roll me another d6, please?
I can, sir.
I want a 6. I want it so bad.
A second. You got it, sir.
You rolled 6 again.
You got it, sir.
Oh, amazing. Okay. So
Oh my god.
what happens is
It took me a minute to find my dice roll of it. Yes.
Rabbit goes and talks to Professor Hartwell. I think all 3 of you probably do, to be honest. Nicodemus definitely does. And Rabbit, you walk in and see Professor Hartwell, and Professor Hartwell sees you and says, "Where is Rabbit?"
Gone. Beyond.
Far, or back?
Back, I think.
Ah, he seeks that which he will find now. Answers.
It was the only way. Mortally wounded.
He went back to before. You go back beyond your own creation. Back far beyond your own species. Safety. But perilous.
You know, I think he'll be just fine.
We call it Event Horizon. The horizon of the event.
And a half-decent movie.
Not a bad one, no.
Trip to hell and back.
It's got Sam Neill in it.
It does. And Larry Fishman. He says, "Come, Rabbit. Sit.
And he will.
And he pulls up a second beanbag next to yours. as well as the one he's sitting on, and gestures for Aoife and Nicodemus to get their own.
Yep.
I'm going to say all four of you, all three of you are going to do Catharsis-omancer for your next downtime activity. Probably, anyway.
Yeah.
Just a light level of trauma. Just a glazing, you know.
Yeah. Rabbit, please roll me 3 plus help from a powerful entity.
Yep.
And 1 from from chronomancy, so 5.
That is 1 success.
Ooh.
Oof.
Rabbit, as the sand begins to swirl in this tornado of silence around you, sitting next to you is your copy, your twin.
Oh.
You see it retrace the steps that you took to walk into this room, and then come and sit and walks to the place where you are sitting, passes through you and sits in this place next to you, then turns to face you and says, I saw it. I saw the time before. I've been there. It was wild. It was dark and writhing. There was so much more magic, and there was a war.
Oh.
And the planes, the gods, they sealed this place off from the rest of it. They broke themselves off a part of the universe. A place where they could rule.
Oh.
And the dragons fought them. The dragons tried to stop them. And the dragons swore that someday they'd get back in. I think that's all I can remember. There was so much, so many lifetimes. Rabbit.
Yes.
He begins to fade.
Okay.
And he reaches out and touches your shoulder, and you can now choose which one of these rabbits stays. As he reaches out and touches you, your substance sort of joins with him. You both go insubstantial. And Terris, you may choose which one of these remains.
That is a tough call, Josh. And I think I know. Because I don't think Rabbit Alpha is ready to come back. I think he's got more exploring to do. So I think he's going to tell Beta, look after them for me. I'll come back one day, maybe. And fade.
And he fades. You successfully reduce your instability back down to 2 again. Nicodemus, this visit was much more about a mental health checkup.
Yep.
You watch this, but as a chronomancer, Hartwell has time for all of you. Literally. He says to you, what is it you seek? desire find?
Well, I want to find like all the hidden secrets of this world, but I have never killed anything before, and that didn't feel good. Even though I helped Rabbit,
Death
what
is hard.
Is there a way I can use that magic to not hurt? Because I know the light can hurt. I know, like, you can burn yourself real bad, and I can make people see things that I want them to see. And in some ways, I can make people heal, but I also know that the death is part of things, but killing something with it was not nice. I don't like that at all.
Nightseed would inform Telltale that death is much maligned. Death is one flip side of coin. People see only negative. You see only bad. You use as the dark side of death. Try the light. Soft. Easier to carry. Death can give as well as take.
Yeah.
It's what you did. Yes, yes?
Yes, I tried to at least. But and I know I'm moving that the power from the thing that died into Rabbit to save him was balance in a way, but and I don't really mind the death magic per se. It's I don't want to kill with it.
Then do not.
Yes, but I want. How can I use it for other things?
Because you are taking. Taking is the death. Use the death to give. Reverse it. Put it backwards. All things time. Death is entropy. Death is end of things. Death and time are link. Run it backwards. Death magic can give life if you operate in reverse. Flip the polarity.
I will have to think about that. I might have a seed of an idea. Oh.
I'm much
That's
good at
it?
gardening. Plant it. Yes, yes?
No, like dead things feed plants. Plants live. That's yes.
And the Book of Life takes it away. Sun and skies,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes. Perhaps yes. I will have to think about it. Like a lot. Right now I'm just trying to get the image of a dying creature out of my mind. But yes. That is an idea. Yes. Yes. Yes, I think I know.
From what Rabbit tells, that creature would have been a scourge upon the living.
Yes.
What is right is not always easy, yes, yes?
Yeah, that's true. Right
The
for
brave
us.
carry it hard. The good feel bad, still at doing the good. They know what is right and what must be done.
Yeah, it would have killed a lot of people, I think.
Even the one was enough.
Mm.
Yet Rabbit is still here.
Yes.
Not yet less or more, just different. Your friend, he remains.
Yes.
Possibly wiser?
That would not be hard.
One can only hope.
I will have to think on this and maybe make some plans. We shall see. Thank you so much.
Aoife, do you want to talk to Professor Hartwell, or are you relatively sanguine after this adventure?
Aoife's okay. She is all right. She's not entirely okay with everything that just happened, but she's just either her brain hasn't completely processed it yet, or she's just decided that she's choosing to be okay with this. I'm just not going to think about this too hard, or my brain will shatter into a million pieces.
Aoife, you hear in your mind, as your eyes flash a soft purple. Aoife, okay?
Oh, thanks, Weary. I think I'll be fine. That was just not what I was expecting to happen today, so... And I can't decide whether my friend is dead or not, so... Just going to sit with that one for a while and see how it turns out.
Friend dead?
Yes and no. And I kind of try and send, like, the mental image of there being 2 rabbits, and then kind of one of them dying. Like, one rabbit becomes 2 rabbits, and one of them is killed. And disappears, leaving 1 rabbit behind. So I still have one. I'm just not sure if it's the same as it was before.
She sends back more friends.
That's a nice way of looking at it, Weary. Thank you. You all right?
Mama says not dead, gone.
Oh. My friend. It's not dead, but gone.
Mama say.
Well, your mama's very wise, so we'll have to take her word on that one.
And I think we'll leave it there. Please make notes that Aoife and Nicodemus have not had their downtime activity, but Rabbit has.
Yes.
Is reset back to 2 with his hubris track at whatever it was that Rabbit Beta has. Well done. Thank you very much for playing, guys. I hope you enjoyed.
Thank you.
That was interesting.
Excellent.
It was surprisingly deep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, we got really
Sorry.
philosophical there at the end. We had the
Yeah.
ship with Theseus.
Yes.
I'm sorry I jumped on the xenomorph. But I'm not sorry I jumped
No,
on the
I'm not
No,
sorry
it
at
was
all. I was
fun.
like, that was interesting. And
Would
then the
Rabbit
second
have
you
been
appears, I'm like,
Rabbit had they not?
fuck, I know
Yeah.
exactly what's going to happen. I was like, how do I deal with this? Well, one of them's going to have to die. Oh, no. And, yeah, straight up
Bishoped
bishoped
him.
you. Yeah. Cool. Alrighty, well,
Oopsies.
shall we talk about our favourite moments before we go away from here, guys? We need a D4 in chat. Exclamation mark, roll space. The number 4, please, if you do not mind, my lovely friends, to decide who we are going to talk about first. Aoife being, we go from Ardanna first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, around in a circle, Ardanna being 1, Terris being 4. Someone, anyone, don't mind who. Unless I get a 3. I got a 1. As did Mother of Bunnies. Alright, we're talking about Ardanna first.
Me.
Favorite Nicodemus moments.
Oh, God.
I just love that Nicodemus kind of got through that whole situation, was like, I'm just gonna go have a spew. Excuse me. Just gonna
Yeah.
go over
Yeah.
here and lose my lunch. This is what I must do now. I respect that reaction.
I'm gonna
Go ahead, Josh.
I'm gonna talk about the very final death feeds life cycle realization. Making it make sense for your character and be able to move on as a character is really, like, it's tricky. You had to find the reason to make it work, the way that
Yeah.
it can work, and so that the character can progress, is really neat. Yeah, that was cool. And also, I have a second, but let Terris, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say the very real way you were reacting to having killed something. Like, I felt so in the moment watching you go through that, like your character.
Mm.
It was just so good. The way you were just all of it. Yeah.
I also loved how you incorporated immediately the 4 fingers on one hand thing into the way you play him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was very cool. Favorite self?
Favorite self. I hadn't thought about it before, but realizing that because I always the shifting visage thing. I always saw Nicodemus as like facing in and out of basically the what's that called? The realm where you go when you
Oh, the ethereal plane?
yes.
Yeah.
I always saw it like that, but then I was like, no, it's kind of like that, but also like that whole coming back weird thing. And my poor pretty boy who used to have a fan club because he was the pretty one at school is now some form of he was for a brief moment some form of eldritch abomination.
I love it.
But a cute eldritch abomination.
Yeah, very
with
cute.
a cool face tattoo now.
Yeah, he has pie just glaring. He's gonna have to get smaller glasses because that's gonna get very annoying. Very
Oh, it doesn't.
fast.
It doesn't glow permanently. I was imagining
Okay.
that as just a temporary
Yeah.
sort of. It glowed as it shielded,
Oh,
essentially.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, so it's like that's gonna get annoying very fast.
It's going to really impede your ability to sneak into the library as well.
Yes. I will get in there one day without permission.
Alrighty.
love
Well, we
it.
need a D3, please.
Just as an extra, I did love that Nicodemus was down with the instability powers right up until he realized they couldn't be used to sneak into the library.
Yes.
This is fine.
done
If
with
I
this
can
now.
phase through walls. Oh wait, no, I can't.
Yeah.
But I can't phase into the library, so fuck it.
Yes.
Excellent. Alrighty. Oh, space 3. That's a 2. I always get me when I do it. That's a me.
Suddenly xenomorph, I have to say it. I was not expecting that, and for some reason I feel like I should always be expecting a xenomorph. But I wasn't this time. So thank you for that. You have made my month.
It's a
actually.
weird crossover. Yeah, you got to be bishoped.
Yeah, no, like this is probably one of my favorite sessions playing with you, and you bishoped me. And wow, thank you for bishoping me. Thank you for letting me ride a xenomorph.
Whoopsies.
Little Fennec Fox riding a xenomorph. Yeah, that was a
There's
wild.
a mental image.
Yeah, inside I was just like, please don't fall in the goo. That was the
could've
other way I
gotten
was going to kill
Very
him.
interesting.
That was the other way I was going to kill him.
Oh dear.
I really enjoyed Professor Noctua.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very enjoyable. Fun to talk to.
He's a really good way
Like-
of including more lore. Because he's coming at it from an outside perspective, so he knows stuff. Yeah. Professor Bruce, yes. So that's canon from when the very first campaign I ever played online, where it was Valostai. Because I was looking for a non-standard Elven accent, and I proposed Welsh. And the rest of the cast were like, yeah, I can see it, yeah. And then I said the other one is Australian, and they were mostly non-Aussies. So they were all like, I did it, and the DM who was an Aussie went, oh no, I don't, oh, not at all. And the rest of them were like, haha, yeah, do that because it'll shit Nova off. And I was like, all right, so yeah, and I did. Yeah, so all Shadowkai have Aussie accents in his world now. So that's something I'm keeping.
I love that.
Nice.
Although
The
Hazeloff
bloody
is
Shadowfell, mate.
yeah, though Hazeloff, where he claims to be from, is from Telos, my standard homebrew world, where Hazeloft is a couple of 100 miles south of Bottledown, where Mano a Mano happened. Where Beryl is from.
Yeah.
That's that setting.
Bottle
and
Down
Hazeloft
being the most Aussie name.
Bottle down. Yeah, it's where I put that bottle down. Yeah, thank you. My favourite self would be... yeah, I like the concept of this one. Oh, actually, there you go. I think my favourite would be inadvertently, because I do not remember putting it as a new, with that being an Aliens reference. That was not on purpose. Yeah, I have a second.
Oh, it was perfect.
Though, as well, describing to Rabbit how we dealt with the rabbit death generally. But describing Rabbit to Rabbit what he saw before the breaking of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
That was so cool.
Which was
It really
cool.
was.
Hey, Tony. Yeah, there's been some serious lore drops, Tony.
Big lore drops. Big.
A little bit of existential crisis.
and yeah, and a tiny bit of existential crisis. Any others, or shall we proceed? All right then, let us talk about somebody else. We need D2 in chat. Crispin rolls a 1. That is Aoife.
Oh.
Favorite Aoife moments.
Love them?
I'm gonna say your interactions with Weary.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've had, because it only happened last session, so
Yeah.
still figuring out exactly how that interaction works, and that was cute and yeah, lovely. Yeah, very cool. Like that.
Oh yeah. I like Eve overall. But that whole bundling up before touching the orb of death because it's cold. That was very cute. I really enjoyed that bit.
Yeah, I love that she was like, okay, I'm a wizard and I can magic things, but I'm just gonna reach out and touch it. Oh wait, no, actually I'm not. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, it's like
Maybe don't touch the mysterious freezing orb, Aoife. Dunno.
I have to say I liked you poking the goo with the stick and your
Find
reaction to that. Yeah.
yeah, so
Burn it with fire! Burn it with fire!
Hmm.
Favorite self?
I quite liked. I was trying to think of what I could do to help Rabbit, and I'm quite proud of turning the barb into water to get it out.
Oh, that
Rabbit.
was awesome too. Yeah.
Like, it didn't really have much effect on the overall kind of way that was resolved, but I was like, that's actually a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just cleaned the wound as well.
Yeah, rinsed it out. Absolutely.
I'm
Yeah, by
gonna
this
save
point,
that
he
one
still
away
had
in
this
my brain
massive
for
hole
later.
in his chest. In fact, if anything, unless you're very close to a doctor who can actively do something about it, don't take the thing out. Leave it in. It's plugging the hole.
That's how they got Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
I was just really worried that the longer it stayed in Rabbit,
Look.
I was like, I don't think Rabbit should be in contact with the barb of this.
This one, I mean, it's obviously a non-standard situation, but yeah, traditionally, if you've got a knife in you, don't pull it out. If it's in real deep, leave it in there, let a doctor do that.
And then I would turn the air in the hole in Rabbit's chest into
Bits of
pressure
rabbit.
bandage. Or flesh.
Flesh, yeah. Just random
Is that
bits
cheating?
of flesh. It is a bit.
I command
Transmutate
the air
it,
to
hold,
turn
close.
to flesh.
Yes. Turn back into bits
speaking
of
of
rabbit.
eldritch abominations.
Yeah. think it's more like cancer, that, really. It's just extra flesh, extra tissue.
Yeah, I give Rabbit a tumor to block the wound hole long enough to get them to a doctor.
Yeah. Hey, look, that would have done it. Yeah, very good. All right, well, we need to talk about Terris then. Favorite Terris moments. I think turns the air into muscle. Yeah. Undifferentiated muscle, just ripped right up to the middle.
Oh no.
We need to talk about
ripped.
Terris. And I think it's appropriate that we go. Terris goes last. Terris got thrown a few curveballs after throwing me one. Definitely, I'm going to go first here. Definitely the choice to keep Rabbit Beta.
Mm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
just jumping on the xenomorph. Like,
Of course you're going to do that. Why wouldn't
It
you do
was-
that?
it was, you know, some
It's not
people,
like-
when they're improvising, they're just really good at the yes and.
I mean, we got a foreshadow of it when he mlemmed the orb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
like,
forgotten
oh,
about
this-
licking it.
Yeah.
What I really like is the really, in my head, for a film of this episode, it
Yeah.
would have been a very close-up of Rabbit's face, and he just peels back his teeth, and then... and it's his tongue sticks out and lashes out into the...
Yep.
That wasn't yes and, that was fuck yeah and.
Quite right, Kristen. It wasn't yes and, it was fuck yeah and.
Oh, now we got a... Yeah. Because I also see things in images. I just, yeah. If you wanted a very fucked up trailer of this, it would be Rabbit just doing that whole pulling back lips, mlem, and then suddenly xenomorph mouth
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah.
Instead of the tongue.
Xenomorph.
Just,
Yeah.
yeah. Meh.
So whilst I'm sad that you didn't do the other adventure that I actually wrote today, because it's a really good one and it's very topical for what's happening in the wood right now. It's also super cool that you don't, and it's not time sensitive. This one can happen whenever, and it would still be relevant. Yeah. Other favorite Terris? Favorite self?
Our favorite self? I'm going to say, since mine were taken, that it is my favorite moment for me was actually letting Rabbit Alpha go.
Yeah.
It was a difficult choice, actually, but I think it was the right one. So, yeah, I am going to go with that. Making that choice.
I was so glad when you rolled the 6, because I'm like, sweet. Now I can give him the choice. Rather than taking it from him, I can give him back the choice of which one to keep. Yeah. But I can also throw more lore into the world. Yay!
I was counting the successes we had on that one. I was like, because if we had gotten one more success, that could have gotten very interesting.
I think you had 4 all up, which technically is
We would have needed 2 more for the exceptional interesting one.
which means that I think technically speaking, yeah, because I ruled that only rabbits were the catalyst. It means that the other 2 didn't gain any instability. So you got 4. It's a grand success. The wizards accomplished what they sought out to accomplish with an added benefit determined by the GM. The added benefit is learning about the creation of the universe in which you currently exist.
No, what I was looking at was the number 6 one, which
Yeah,
would
yeah.
have turned Rabbit into an
Reality
entity.
bending, yes. Well, it kind of has.
One of
Sort
them, at
of.
least.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's what has effectively happened is that both rabbits took their instabilities and stacked both of them on one of them. So he went round the corner and became an entity that way.
Yeah.
Is effectively what's happened. We're playing a little fast and loose with the rules, but the rules are in a rules light system that I've already messed around with a bunch anyway, and frankly stolen stuff from for other systems. The instability track I love it as an idea. I don't use it as an instability track. I just took all the interesting things that work well and just made it a corruption table of 12 D12 and just they roll stuff. Cash rolled on it recently. And interestingly, one of the things Aoife has, Cash also has.
Yeah, I've been doing a similar thing because in the Eberron campaign, there are manifest zones of planes. So when they're in the manifest zones, there are different things that can happen. And someone decided to make a pact with the realm of darkness. So we shall see how that goes.
Oops.
Well, guys, it's
what
been an
you're talking
absolute pleasure playing with you this evening. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're going to go away from here and raid somebody because we've been streaming for a gosh darn while. But who have we got to... We've got the Eldritch Scribe. We haven't gotten to raid them. Oh, they're doing a rerun.
Yeah.
In
Roll
which
together,
case-
or that's also a rerun, never mind.
Got One Pitch Man is playing Baldur's Gate 3. I didn't know he did that. We have Rolling Together RPG is also it's a rerun as well. Boo. Well, let's. Or we've got Patch 8 Early Access Act 3 GM Workshop is playing Baldur's Gate 3 as well. We are all a bit of a fan of the Baldur's Gate. Let's go and drop a raid over on Rackham. Rackham's a lovely bloke. Show them the love like we always do. And yeah, but before we go, we need to mention firstly... For those who didn't, this game comes with a narrative generating system. So I roll 3d6s and on 3 different tables, and it gives me something to generate the story with, some inspiration for it. The one you guys didn't do, I rolled a 2, a 5, and a 6, which is deal with a dangerous threat on the old abandoned campus, a new unexplored area of magical significance. Is the other one.
Nice.
So if you want Temptation to go there next. However, I will generate another adventure for the next time. It's kind of fun because you only have to write one adventure every turn, every time, even though there are 2 adventures to do. Once you've written one, you can just sort of leave it in the bank. We are affiliated with a couple of wonderful groups of beings. Wootton Forge Gaming Accessories. Their logo is down on the screen in front of me, and they generate things like this beautiful Jarrah Dice Keeper. They are creators of WA and possibly even the world's finest handcrafted wooden tabletop accessories. Check them out at wootenforge.com/Corsairs Cove. And Trolllord Games, who actually, amusingly, these dice are Trolllord Games dice, and they're perfect because they have 4d6s in the set that I acquired from the Trolllord Games people. However, their primary export is TTRPG goodness. They do a lot of non-D&D systems over on their website, trolllord.com. Check that stuff out over there, and they are also wonderful supporters of the channel. Karen, can you tell us about the Ukraine, please?
I can, Josh. You may have heard about Ukraine a few times in the last couple of years. That war still going on, so it's still a bit shit over there. So if you're able to, you can follow that link and send a cheeky donation across the Emergency Action Appeal to support Ukrainian refugees, which would be cool and groovy of you.
Thank you very much. Terris, who the heck are you?
Hello, I'm Sir Terris, your friendly neighborhood ferret. Today I have been playing Rabbit, and Rabbit, the chronomancy and silicomancy wizards.
Twins, yeah. How they review each other, I'm not sure. Ardanna, who the absolute heck are you?
Hello, I am Ardanna, or Joe, or Oyu there if the majority of my players have any say in it. I am the GM and channel runner over the Loride, which will be live in about 4 hours.
Oh.
Again, for our Eberron campaign. Rails of Morning, which is a pulp noir campaign, where a bard dressed as an old grandma got to snog a Hexblade Warlock last time.
Of course. Expect nothing else.
No, it was the time before that one. But no, and today I played Nicodemus, the elephant shrew light and death wizard.
And Karen, who are you, my love?
Hi, I am Karen, sometimes known as the Mother of Bunnies, performer, a writer, an internet addict. I will theoretically be back here tomorrow night to have another crack at Simulacra, just a little RPG game, and I got the worst ending last time, so we're going to have another crack and see if I can get a less terrible ending.
I need to
And also back on Thursday for the season finale of Humblewood of Elements and Evil.
Hell yeah.
Evil.
Evil.
As Kesh. But tonight I was Aoife, the puffin wizard who specializes in transforming things and enchanting things. And she is quite enchanting, I think.
Wouldn't dispute that. And I be Josh the Pirate. You can find me here on my channel, Corsair's Cove, where I run D&D and other RPG-related games with my lovely wife Karen, the Mother of Bunnies, and all my splendid friends. A lot of the things we have been doing today have been those things. And it's a pleasure to have you guys. There isn't anybody, like, I'm looking, because Rackham just went offline. So there is now, we'll
I mean, Mike Moans is on.
we do have Mike Moans. I reckon let's go and watch Roll Together RPG. They are our stream team buddies. They're actually, it is a rerun, but there's still a bunch of people watching. It's still a good show. You can go and check out their Soul Survivors Netherwinter Saga. With our lovely friend Josh, the Devon Knight is playing over there by the looks of it. So that could be fun. Enjoy that. And we will be back, yes, as Karen said, tomorrow night for more Simulacra. Thursday night for the season finale of Elements and Evil. And then on Monday night for the beginning of a new season of Midnight and Madness. Our Strumblewood, Curse of Strahd, Humblewood campaign for hopefully, well, it's not hopefully, this will be the final season of that show. It's going to be rather exciting. Warhammer tomorrow,
awesome.
Josh? I will be painting. I'm not going to be playing. I've actually finished the game, Tony. I finished it about 3 hours before we went live tonight. And then I sat down and frantically prepped because I was like, I must finish it! I've spent all fucking weekend. I am at once really glad and also very, like, it's like, that was super fun. I am so glad it's over. Is very much how I felt about that campaign. That was a long one. The Orc campaign, and you can make the game artificially short. But I hadn't done that. I've only actually discovered recently that you can. And I was like, well, what's the fucking point then? But, it would be nice to have a sort of an intermediate level. You can make it bizarrely short. And I was like, well, that's no fun. That's just how to cheese the achievements, which wasn't what I was trying to do. But it would have been nice to have it slightly shorter than what I wound up actually doing. Probably 45 hours took me to play that campaign all up, which was too long. So we're going to go away from here and raid the Rolling Together folks. So throw up your favorite raider modes up in chat. Tell them where you came from. Show them the love like we always do. And we will see you same bad time, same bad channel tomorrow night for some more Simulacra. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.